All right. We are here. Back at it again. Got it again. But he's doing great. Wonderful night. It is mega build time. We'll be getting started on this tonight. Let's see where we end up. We got a lot of planning to do, but I'm hopeful. Hopeful. What's up, Ducky? Well, it's Thursday. What do you mean, Tour Tuesday? What you talking about, Willis? What's up, Atheve? Welcome. You're doing good. Woohoo! Welcome in. Hall, welcome in. Tour Thursday? Nope. Nope. Definitely not streaming tomorrow. Taking the weekend off. I'll be celebrating that my interview's over tomorrow is what I'll be doing. Why don't you circle that conversation to Tuesday and then you'll get it.
Man's gotta eat.
How we're rolling, Tour Tuesdays. The only way. Just fits too well, you know? Just fits too well. Welcome, Jeremy. How's it going? Hopefully everybody's doing good. Did a little bit of moving, so we're pretty much have the majority of things. There's some random stuff over at the other base still, but we got the majority of things over there. We're doing good. Feels nice. We actually do something finally. Hate being stuck in between bases. Found your spot very interesting, so I decided to farm there and make a new build. It's a good spot. I hope it's a good spot. I can't confirm it if it is or not, but I sure hope it is. We'll see how it goes. I think it has some potential. What's up, Rock Me? How's it going? I am very hopeful that it's going to be a good spot. I like how safe it is. It was like originally the reason I fell in love with the Pagoda base outside of it having a field station inside of it in Grounded 1. It was so nice to have just safety all the time. Never had to worry. Just made life easy. Hello. Yeah, autocorrect is my favorite too. I know the feeling. Absolutely know the feeling. It destroys me daily. Been doing good, buddy. Just working my tail off as normal. Sounds about right. I know the feeling. Mine's more so because I have a 2-year-old. So that's... My job isn't all that hard, but it is a lot of work having a 2-year-old. That's for sure. You can grow pumpkin, as far as I know. Yes. Alright, I really wish I could just blow these leaves off of here. This would make this space perfect. But we can't, sadly. Is there a way to stop the cockroach nymphs from spawning in the foundations? Not that I know of. Apparently,
that hit the spot.
I don't know the validity of this, but I do know a couple people have said that if you leave your base every couple days, if you're gone for a little while, I don't know the exact mechanic or anything necessarily, but the cockroach nymphs like will spawn in your base is like a intended mechanic, potentially. Heard it from Capitao, and I'm assuming Jade heard it from Capitao as well, but I don't know if that's true or not, but it might just be because of that. Doing all mushroom brick? No. We're gonna mess with a lot of mushroom brick, pumpkin. I'm gonna try to do a mix of like everything. Outside of probably grass, I don't know. There's always a possibility that there's some grass that gets added as it gets further, and I want certain details, but as of right now, plan is mostly a combination of pumpkin brick and mushroom brick. Probably throw in some palisades and stuff. Those always look pretty nice. Who knows? We'll see where the wind takes us. There are a lot of wood. A lot of wood and a lot of pick. I don't know what are their names in English. Your game's in French? Oh, interesting. Apparently if you grow pumpkins with gloom goop, you have a chance for pumpkin seeds. That'd be nice. I don't even have the, we're gonna have to do some story and stuff. I want the like, the new planters so we can grow everything. That would be really nice. How? I've just seen them in the new planters, so you have to have the new planters. Ducky, I saw. I know. Take a chill pill. Breathe. Remember Woofsaw. Like 2 running around on my throne room foundations, and I don't really want to tear it up and kill them. Yeah, I know the feeling. Apparently, the purple one for the smoothies. I pretty much only use. Of course, I don't have grub sludge. I forgot at the base. I almost exclusively use the lady in the red, or what is it called? Of course, I can't. The ladybug based one. Health, and then you get bonus health if you use chocolate. But I haven't used any of the new stuff, so I don't know how good that is. What's up, Sarcastic? Lady in the red. Yeah. I pretty much exclusively use those for the bonus health. Seems to work well. I like bonus health. Especially with how much damage everything does right now. The bonus health is really good. What kind of mega base? I have this rough idea in my head of a large, very tall tower. Because I'm loving like the verticality in the new update. Just everything is so tall. And so that's kind of inspired me to build something really vertical. Really tall is an interesting way to just do that for fun. I haven't really seen anyone building really tall towers of any kind, and see what we can do with that. Gives us a lot of floor space as well as we build up in a space that, since this space is not necessarily, it's nowhere near as big as the sandbox in the first game where we did our mega build, so we were able to really sprawl in the sandbox, and this is not going to allow quite the same level of kind of ridiculous sprawling. So I think vertical, very tall tower, probably not as tall as Wendell or anything, and we're gonna see how difficult this is without the handy net. But some kind of cool tower, different fun levels. We'll be working on a lot of depth and fun like designs on the outside of it to kind of create some interesting looking things, and then we'll do sort of a tiered city, like internal city, so as if kind of treating this area as if we're sort of inside a castle wall kind of concept. So we'll build, probably not on this level, but build out some like houses, and then they'll step down, and we'll have these like swooping streets and stuff. Then sort of same concept where these pieces go drop down a little bit, so they'll be like kind of, there's already kind of natural streets that I see in my brain here. And then of course you'll have like the sewage system sort of going down in this thing. We'll have sort of city, more town, kind of, I don't know if it'll all be houses, but we'll have blacksmiths and tailors, anything and everything we can come up with. I kind of have an idea of maybe a market in this area. potentially. Could be like a 2-tiered market. We'll see how the tower... I'm not sure if the tower is going to be like coming over the edges or anything quite yet. And then, again, more tiered kind of housing districts, so stuff kind of higher up, and then some streets that go down. We'll probably be building mostly on one grid. I don't know if I have any ideas for the tower to be off-grid or anything. I think it's going to be a fairly square tower overall, with just a lot of depth, like inner pieces sort of layered on top of each other to create interesting details with the pumpkin brick and the mushroom brick, using the cool windows and stuff. So you'll get most of the vertical tiers of the housing district and that kind of stuff in these areas as well. So it won't be huge, but I see it to be a fairly manageable mega build, whereas the sandcastle base was so freaking huge. It took 2 years. I'm like, we were working on it for like 2 years, and I did stuff off stream on that as well. So I'm hoping not to do as much off stream. I'm sure we'll do some here and there. And then we're going to be building, I don't know, I want to kind of utilize some of these weird spaces that you can kind of see. There's a lot of little like hidden spaces where we can hide things. And these little crevasses and crevices and stuff. Then you got like, you can build up there on the other side as well. And then you can kind of go through these places, sort of maybe make this look like a gate or something. And then I'm thinking like a pumpkin farm village sort of in this area potentially. So having like a lot of the maybe finding ways to use the new planters, the new garden patch things, the hydroponic things or whatever in these areas, and just building out a little village in the trees and stuff. Maybe it goes up and gets built in as like treehouse levels as well or something. Not 100% sure yet on that front. Kind of see how it goes. And then maybe a similar concept on the other side too. Trying to use like every inch of this little area to create an interesting, decently sized build. What's your plan to work with the big light on the block? We'll kind of see. I'm not 100% sure, but I have a rough idea in my head that I don't really know how to explain yet. I'm not sure if the light actually is a light is one part of it. It would be really cool if it actually lit up the inside of the base, but I'm sort of thinking of the first level as like a 2-story an atrium type space. So you have a cool entrance, some cool staircases going up, then you'll have your kind of function and stuff. We might be raising the bottom level, so our functional stuff is on the bottom. It might go on the 3rd or 4th floor. Don't totally know yet. So I'm thinking we'll add it in and try to like frame it around the build, and then I might use, if we can make it work, I might use these cool like fin looking things as part of the exterior. Because I did some testing and there's no hitbox for this light. You can build at least from what I tested, you can build up in this. So it might be just an interesting detail for the outside of the build. And then we find a way to like frame the light on the inside to just make it look kind of interesting. Not totally sure. Bug with Handy Nat and Creative in Grounded 1 playground. Are you playing Grounded 1? Grounded 2, you couldn't, sorry. Yeah, there was a ghost mode. That's just, I don't know if that's a bug. That's just not a feature in this game yet. They turned it off at one point. It was in survival, the ghost mode was. But when you were able to do the Handy Nat in survival mode, or I guess custom mode, it did have a ghost mode for a while in Grounded 1, but they removed it in survival. And I don't play creative, so I don't actually know on that side, but I don't think they loved the idea of it because it allowed people a little bit too much ability to get inside the map and see things that they didn't want to see. It made it too easy. You could build, you could do all sorts of crazy stuff with it. It was cool, but I think it broke too many things for him. I was originally going to build where you're at, but I couldn't figure out how I wanted to tackle the floodlight on the main block. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but I enjoy the idea of a bit of a challenge. It may be a little weird. It may not work. We may just cover it. I don't know yet. We'll see. You never know how plans are going to work out until we get into it. Building your base on the stones in front of the statue. Patch up a lot of the gaps in between, and then on some stones I'll have some building. That's originally where I thought. My original idea was a base here, but it's just so flat. It just was like outside of all the little maze sort of things that are really cool. There just wasn't. I like working around things. I like more structures to build around, and this was like everything's just built on top of it, and it would be ridiculously hard to do the curve. But I was originally thinking of this is like an entire city, but this is huge. I mean, this is going to take a lot of time in survival, and so unless it was a creative build where we would do it, it would take forever. Also saw some YouTuber make tons of armor stands that acted as characters in his base. Yeah, the Ludorev. If you haven't seen Ludorev's base tours on my channel, check those out. He does a ton of that to make like story-based things. Trying to figure out how to do more city or more buildings in your city, but you're running out of room. Yeah, that is part of the struggle. It's always hard planning for the eventuality of where the build's gonna go. Yeah, you can do some really cool stuff, sarcastic, with the armor stands. You can do all sorts of really crazy. Ludorev has probably some of the best use of armor stands to tell stories and stuff. He has like halls with like banquet tables and stuff filled, and everyone's like cheering and jumping up. It looks crazy. It's very cool. You would read it all, you would see what I'm saying. I read it all. It's a long, long chat, dude. Also, I'm past Grounded 1. Jack, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. But they absolutely will not put the ghost nat in survival. It's not gonna happen. You said in Grounded 1 in Playground you could click C to go into ghost mode and fly through anything. And in Grounded 2 you couldn't do that, but you can now. You can now. They won't add it to survival though, is what I'm saying. In Grounded 1 they had it in survival and they removed it because people were breaking the game and building out of the map and stuff in survival. And so they didn't like it. One thing in Playgrounds, but they removed it because it was causing. People were spoiling things and doing nonsense. Welcome in, Jay. Hope you're doing good. Good morning where I'm from. Wow, we're at 7 o'clock at night here. That's awesome. Wanted to ask, since we were talking about Enshrouded the other day, coming to Xbox for building in there is a game that works well for building like a blacksmith, woodcutter, more. You could build anything you want in that game. Literally anything. The only limitation is your creativity. 100%. No mushroom floors. Unfortunately. They added burr floors. So you got some new pieces to the existing stuff, but you still, if you really want mushroom floors, best thing to do is to use the mushroom pillars. So if you place these, pressing the wrong button. Best thing is to use these as floors.
Didn't even need instructions.
Kind of creates an interesting pattern too. You just have to plan ahead is the hard part because of the height. It can be done. I did a lot of it, but you really do have to plan really well is the only difficult part of it. Got a decent start. Pillar wall thing you did in Grounded 1 doesn't. What do you mean pillar wall?
Now that's
what?
fresh.
Pillar wall? Are you saying like placing? What are you doing here? Like the quarter floor or quarter wall piece thing? Is that what you're saying? Putting like some of this behind it? It's like it works to me. It may not show as well. I will say that looking at these, the gapping is a lot less from what I noticed. In the first game, there was definitely a larger gap. So that might be part of it. But yeah, you could still do it. That's all it was. It definitely looked better with like other block pieces though. My favorite was the ash cement, but it looked pretty good with this too. It does it, but all you're really doing is filling in a really small gap now. Just enough. I'm gonna head out, have a great rest of the night. Sounds good, man. Appreciate you stopping by to say hi. I'm sure there's plenty of things that are slightly changed from what we used to do, though. Part of the fun of the new update is being able to kind of mess with things. Find out how to break things in a new, different way. So, we need... First matter of business. Why did they make these pine cone instead of acorn? I like it, but it's really expensive now. But I prefer building with these, so. This will not be a permanent feature in the base by any means, but how do we want to do this? I want this to be something that gets in the way when we start building really quick. I guess for now it's fine. Should add an all mushroom stair. They did have that in the first game. I was a little surprised that they didn't. I was a little bit, but I assume that will be when they say in the next update we will get the full pumpkin and full mushroom sets. We'll get. It probably won't have the vines, but we'll get the full mushroom stairs as part of it with like curved walls and stuff too. That would be my guess, at least. You never know, though. You never know what they're cooking up back there. So, we need a staircase so we can get up here. So I'm tired of having to go around this wall already. Oh yeah, we changed the name as well.
Come on over here.
We have Chip, use napkin, and oops. When we get a ladybug, they will be named Penny.
A-wheel drive. Let's go.
And then we can go, gang's all here. Actually, I need my stuff. Perfect. Don't die. General idea for the new build, massive sort of tower thing. Why are you flying away? I needed to fight you. Okay, really, where'd you go? Large tower design that I haven't really seen before in the game, and then we will have sort of a cool vertical city around it. Why did you have to go down there? Oh, stop it. Oh. Where I put stairs to get the garden too. Yeah, it's a really convenient spot, honestly. I think as much as I liked the idea of the chair on the other side for a build, the location of this base is really convenient. It's kind of what I'm most excited about.
Too hot for this place.
Oh. What's up, Brady? Welcome in. Oh, get me in here. Stop defending yourselves. Definitely gonna do a little bit of gold card grinding as well. I really want yoked blows, and I'm like, I think we're like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, we're literally 1 off, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's every 25. Like, we need 1 gold card, and then I can start really dominating things and get some crit chance going with this build, and we'll be on cloud 9. Make it so you can see building parts that you don't have unlocked. I mean, I think that's part of just go to creative, right? I think part of that is in survival, the goal is that you're supposed to be sort of finding these things out, not just... It ruins the surprise, I think, is why that wouldn't work as well. Do I do schoolwork or watch stream? Both. There was nothing more fun. It's always a little difficult depending on what you're specifically working on for school, but when I was in school, that's a lot of what I did. I would just have a stream on. Wouldn't necessarily like pay full attention to it, of course. Rub sludge. You do this. Oh, we need a lot of that. Dang it. I swear something needed might fuzz. Crazy? Oh, it was this, wasn't it? Derp. Okay. That was that. Need butterflies. I need a fridge. Where are all the butterflies? But this is the build. It's just behind the statue, so we're going to be building sort of all of this, build into here. I'm not sure if you can get into this at all, but we might build into, there's a little bit here. You can get through a little crevice there that goes through this area as well. So you've got some cool spots. That's actually where my sap collectors are too, which is another perk of this. We'll be building out the sap collectors in here, so we'll have easy access to that. Although the spot itself is pretty void of anything, the proximity to resources is actually better than I thought it would be. What's up, Travis? Welcome in. How you doing?
Here.
It's a real question. How do we want to build this? I don't think... Straight. Would be the hard thing. I wish they had just like a natural grid at times where you could just place things. It makes it a little bit less creative at times, I guess, but times like this, I wish I could just lock it to this perfectly, but that does look pretty good. Well, it's like, as you can see, yeah, just like barely off. It'd be nice to be able to like, at least know what it's rotated to, like have a natural thing and see like, okay, if you base it off of the center of the map like this, say that it give you a little direction so you can see what angle things are being placed at. Be nice at times. Because my OCD is going to go hard right now. I can't see it. No one would. I'm starting to build a new base under the bench. Interesting. I'm excited to start doing tours again. Could you get out of the way, Chip? You're worthless. Walking constantly. Oh my god. Every time I look over, I'm trying to get it lined up and he's right in the way.
A-wheel drive. Let's go. Yeah. Put your
Stay.
feet up, bud. You weren't.
First person is useful. You're correct. I don't know if we're gonna get it any better than that. Be close, but it's not perfect. Pardon my OCD for just a few minutes here. Has to be perfect. Is a requirement. A little to the right. Better off we place this first piece, the better off the whole thing is in the long run. It's really hard to see that center one. Barely off. Build it first, would it make it easier to see? Sometimes, yeah. I just hate undoing it and redoing it over again. And I didn't bring anything over. Naturally. Might be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if I don't spend enough time doing something like this, I will regret it later. Wanted to pop in and say hi. Sounds good. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi for a few. Starting a light pole base tower and just finished my mushroom castle the other day. Ooh, very cool. Alright, I need this chest over here. Really does have to be perfect. Got like a quarter built when I started. I was like, nope, not lined up how I want. Tore it all down. Yeah, that is inevitably what I will find myself doing. So it is often worth the effort typically.
Didn't even need instructions.
This is why I miss the handy net. I didn't have to build chests. Just had everything. Luckily with pine cones we're doing fine now. Pine cone chests make life a lot easier. You can put so much more stuff. And they look so much better. We're gonna instantly start building pumpkin stuff, but might as well. Start is always the hardest to get down, yeah. I will say it's almost always worth putting in a little extra effort right in the beginning. That's pretty dang close. I don't know if we're getting any closer than that. Like one fraction of a hair off. It's so close though. It's also, this is not like a perfectly straight line. Nothing in Grounded is, of course, like perfectly straight. Just this edge is just about perfect, but it's not. I guess the other thing, do we want this to be a center? Do I want to line them up? Perfect spot for a build when it's fully released. I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it will be. So if we had them centered the other way. What would it line up more like? Let's see. Of course, somehow you still end up in
My heart is pumping.
the process of expanding my crafting area and changing all my chests in the storage libraries to the new ones. So worth it. They are so good. I love the look of the pinecone chests. They're so nice. Neither of them are going to line up perfect, but... yeah, YouTube always has a little bit more delay. If we did that, neither of them are perfectly lined up, but... Yes, do I want... off-centered piece so we could do some things? This is kind of the other hard part of it is, do you line up one of these in the center? You do have half blocks, so it kind of removes it, or the vertical half pieces, but technically if you're going to use full walls, it sort of slightly changes the way I think about like how we're going to build an entrance right here and stuff. Not too much. Taking a bit. I got like 100 chests already. Yeah, it's such a slow process. Where you're building your base off the flower box and the lamp area. Nice. It's a really cool little spot. I'm glad. I had always seen it, but without knowing, like in the first update before we got the garden, this spot was like so detached from everything else. It just made zero sense to me mentally to put it here, even though I knew we would get stuff. It was one of those spots where I was like, what? I have no clue what's gonna happen here. I mean, you didn't know if you were gonna get this big wall, if they were gonna remove it, if this was like gonna be this epic, horrifying torture chamber of a spot if you picked it. So I kind of avoided it, even though I always liked that it was a cool open spot. But now that we know a little bit more, I think it makes it even better. I think I'm stick with that.
Just looking, I promise.
I really hope you're preparing for my test. It'd be so boring.
So yeah,
if
that
you
being
died right
just
away.
slightly off is whatever. I think we'll make it work with the vertical half walls anyways. The question is, do we slide this over? Just a hair to be super OCD. Pretty dang close. Let's see, what does this look like in the center? I don't know if it's gonna matter. The way the mushroom walls work, it doesn't really matter. Definitely in my consideration of base spots when I started too. Yeah. It's hard to make that decision when like so little of the map is revealed. Because like ultimately, I'm going to find something in the next area that I like even more. But I think this is going to be a good spot we can work on for a couple months. Put some decent time into it. Build something really cool, and then off to another build. Is the hope, at least. I hope we're not spending 2+ years on it like we did the sandbox base. Even though I loved the sandbox base, it is still to this day one of the coolest things I've ever built, and so I'm very, very happy with it. I tend to think that I spent so much time on that base. I guess that's a good way to check too. See how it lines up with that. Bottom side of the bushes you can build in. There is a sweet path I've been building. Lights there also. You're saying on this side? My plan, building a mini village going up the roof of the greenhouse. Yeah, that'll be really cool too. Builders building a base purely to get materials for the next base just seems repetitive. I mean, I'm not building for materials. I'm building, this is what I do, you know? For me, this is content more than anything. I think is the way I think of it. This is what my entire channel's based on, so one build isn't ever enough. Oh, on this side? Like over here? I definitely will be building in that space, I think, at some point. The sandbox, yeah, the sandbox build was the thing I built would say I built the pagoda base and then the sandbox. That was it. But the sandbox base is massive. Okay, it is off-centered. We might want to... Well, that's interesting. Is that... So the nut isn't perfectly centered then? Because I felt like the nut wanted to go that way. If that's the case, we should move this over a little bit. The nut's less important because it'll get covered. And we're going to get raided, I think. Am I not mistaken? You're in the closest spot for farming algae. True. That's a big win because we're definitely going to be using some pumpkin. Absolutely. Could have sworn I thought this was off. The other way. It feels like it's slightly off-centered to the left. But this needs to go to the right. That's fine. Find building relaxing? I do too. I definitely do. Oh crap, she's coming. Run! We're getting attacked. Chip, get up here. Ooh, get caught.
This get hotter?
Serious love for
This bug ain't feeling it.
You're getting destroyed. What do you do?
Hang on, buggy boy.
Another good thing is we have an easy place to kind of go hide from raids and get away from the base really quickly. Gold cards, please? Anyone? Just one gold card? That's all I want in life right now. From what I've heard, some people are not getting raids and some people are. I have had them the whole time. I've had no issues. Okay. Perfect time to lag. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And of course we didn't sleep, so now we gotta go back here. No, Chip.
Just looking, I promise.
Chip. Okay.
Finish this without my bug.
Yeah, there's a glitch that some people are not getting that, but I don't know why some people are and some people aren't. Really couldn't tell you there. Don't forget your Billy Hog. True. Good point. Good point. I didn't get to reset my spawn point because I finished the bed and then forgot. I'm not sure if it was something based on the like PTB or something like that. I know I don't think there was raids working in the PTB, but I can't imagine that once you updated your version that being in the PTB would have changed anything. So I don't know what it would be. I can imagine raids will get more annoying in future because you need to complete every mixer. Yeah, they'll be much more difficult to get rid of for sure.
That's fresh.
Couldn't get the Ulk. Dude, I cannot talk right now.
Hell, don't
Orc
you go
gold
running
cards.
off on me again.
With no raids, I'm sure there will be more. Yeah, you'll definitely get more, and they'll fix it. They'll definitely fix it.
Just looking, I promise.
I've been playing so much Enshrouded, I still default to pressing the wrong buttons constantly right now. The Enshrouded build's almost done though, and then we won't be playing for a little while, I don't think. Need a serious break. Okay, set spawn point. Enshrouded's really coming along. It's incredible. Don't get me wrong, I love building in Grounded, but it doesn't even touch. It doesn't even touch how good Enshrouded building is. It's just, it's a very different vibe at the end of the day. Okay, so we needed to go to the break. There you go. I was like, please? That is a ridiculous snap. What? There's no way that wants to snap there. Fight with stranger. What about it? Yeah, we're changing our base location. Yep. It is time. They kind of ruined the lamppost. I still had a lot of fun building that base, but the lamppost got kind of ruined with the update before this. They unfortunately changed when they updated. I think it was something to do with the engine being updated, if I'm not mistaken. Something about the assets in the game got like an increase in some things increased in size. So weirdly enough, the outside of the lamppost stayed exactly the same, but the central pillar of it was increased by, this is a totally random number, like 10%. And visually, and just in terms of the build overall, it made the inside of the base so much smaller, feeling that it was already a really small base compared. I was gonna build up really high and make something that looked really cool, but inevitably it didn't have enough space to do the things I want to do in a build. So by finding a new spot, we are reducing that headache by a little bit. We're giving ourselves more space to work with. I need bounce webs, that's what I need. My last playthrough of Grounded, I set my spawn at the Pond Lab and forgot to set it the whole playthrough. Grubber. Of course we don't have acid glands. Ugh. Best place to build a base? I don't think there is a best place, honestly. Anything that you think looks cool and interesting as a location is a good location. At the end of the day, the key points that I try to work towards are close-ish proximity to a ranger outpost, because as we keep going in the game, as of right now, we have a hand, like you could teleport from here to here. So realistically, like being here is not a bad base location by any means. It just kind of is like, what works for you? What has a semi-close proximity to a ranger outpost? Because you're going to need to go buy things, scan things, analyze things, every update. So that becomes really important. Centrally located is sort of an arbitrary concept right now because we don't know. I mean, this is centrally located when you think of what we have right now, but theoretically, if we get stuff out here, this is centrally located. So we don't know, so you can't really base it on that yet, because we don't know what's coming. So you kind of have to pick a spot that you think works, and I think somewhere close enough to a ranger station, like this base, was not a good location. Being the closest, or this was not great in my opinion. It worked because it was close to resources and weed stems that I used. But in the long run, there's tons of resources here, and there's tons of resources all over here too. So everything kind of has good resources at the end of the day. It's kind of whatever suits your eye, what you find to be the best and think you can build something cool with. Imagine, sure, the dev said they want to not just copy stuff from ground one, they wanted to change it a bit before they added it. I think they should make and update the mutations to add level 4 and 5. Maybe. It's hard to know. The mutations are absolutely different than in the first game, though, at the same time. Like, the whole different combat types, like, there wasn't classes in the first game, in my opinion. You could kind of build a club in a two-handed and a one-handed, but, like, everything overlaps so much. It was more about which perk gave you the most damage output more than anything. Didn't really do anything other than that. So now, oh, sorry, wrong person. Oops. I banned the wrong person. Hold on. A chat moved right when I clicked ban this stupid bot. I'm coming for you, APAC, I promise. Pack. Sorry, 1 second. Why can I not just unban him? Okay, it worked. Wait, did it? Are you good? Etch, are you good? Are you back? Said I banned you on accident. I was trying to ban someone else. Apologies. Chat moved at the worst time possible. I read your chat, Ducky. I literally read it right then. Breathe. You need patience. There's other people chatting too. Is the hot dog stand cliche? I got a village type going on there. I think it's a fine spot. I don't think there's any issue with that. You're still, again, close to a ranger station that's going to allow you to hop around the map fairly easily. My hope is that we just get like a drop-down list. Like when you pick this, it'll say like, pick the ranger station you want to go to, and then you just teleport to it. That's my hope. Ducky was not 15 minutes. Don't be dramatic. I have to answer people before you and finish my own thoughts before I get to everything. I get to every chat though, I promise. They removed all collision in the Pine Hill trees too. Now I can't stick more sap collectors up there. Oh, that's such a bummer. They did. I will say the trees seem to be a base location that's very iffy. I would hesitate building in the trees because they seem to be adjusting hitboxes and stuff a lot with those. So be very careful with trees specifically. More than anything, that's the thing I've seen screw people's up the most. Is like a bunch of people had built really high up in the tree and then just absolutely lost like everything because of it. Picnic table top and underneath is a good spot as well. Yeah, and I think it's, especially with this map is gonna be so big, I don't think there's any, I don't think you can say like one spot's gonna be better than another at this point. Be back just a hair. That lined up perfect. That's the only comment you made, other than the ones you did on YouTube. Talk about Willis. What was the only comment you made? I was stuck up in mine for like a month and a half.
Straight up turning into max jerky. We could bottle that up and make a killing.
Struggle. Wait, did it need to go? I forgot which direction. Concept for this base, we're gonna do a massive tower, a very vertical build, I guess is the best way to put it. So there'll be a big sort of cool tower built up nice and high with a bunch of different floors, and then like vertical sort of city design, kind of snaking its way around, building around in here. We'll build into these little cracks and crevices, into the bushes and stuff for some like outskirts farming type village spaces. Sort of the concept I'm working with in my head. A lot will change though at the end of the day. Oh, this is the hard part. This is so wiggly. Like if you're looking at the most outside piece, it's really only that's not lined up. Let's put something on top of it. That might be better. According to the support person I was talking to, there shouldn't be any more adjustments to the Pine Hill trees, at least for now. Nice. That would be great. Actually, we need those acid glands. I need a jump web really bad.
Let's go. Hey, we'll
find some.
Let's go.
Yeah, it'll be quite big. It's definitely not the biggest thing I've ever built, but with so much being continuously added to this, I think it's a manageable size right now. It's a good size, something that we can hopefully get through by the time the next major update comes out. Is sort of what I'm hoping.
Plug assist.
Kill these things too.
Just looking, I promise.
Gold cards, please. Just one. I don't care what it is, I just want something. Kind of cool is my sap collectors and stuff I put in the tree are still there. That's one positive at least, right? Where's... And they all gotta be so far away. Oh, there is two in there. I forgot. That'd be perfect. Go get those. Or fall. Perfect, perfect. Where's the anthill? Grandfathered in now? Hey, if it works, it works. That is one of the bonuses of building really early. You're able to do some things that the game didn't necessarily intend you to do. So as you're building, you get to do some fun things. Especially like building in the ranger stations and stuff is probably not something that's going to work forever. That's not a guarantee by any means, but you never know. I don't have your contact. No game design and all I want, all but when you look at it for a bit, the park doesn't look like a place you would go to. I mean, I think that's part of the reason is it's not meant to be something that is seen in a large scale. It only has to make sense on the small scale. Because you're never actually seeing it at the larger scale. At least that's the way I kind of think of it. Tell what's a black ant and what's a red. It's like an Armageddon. Yeah, I know some of the things changed in the tree for sure, so some things work, some things don't. It's kind of a fun little addition, kind of things change over time, since we're in early access. Is it all red ants? It's just only red ants back, yeah, makes sense. But also you have to remember, like, it's not a place you would want to go to, but it also got blown up, so there's some weird stuff going on. But it doesn't have to make sense necessarily at a large scale because we're not experiencing it at the large scale. If you purely thought of it in the sense that it is meant to be used as a large park, it wouldn't work as well as a small park at this scale. So it's one of those things you have to kind of think of, like, what's going to make the most sense. A park at full scale is too big. Like, I think the way I think of it is that everyone was like, give us an update where we go in the house. Give us an update where we go in the house. And then someone in Playgrounds built a version of the house, and it was horrible. There was just nothing happening. It was such a large scale that the small things didn't make any sense whatsoever. If that makes sense. So there was just like the spaces, there was too much space between everything. You're trying to get upstairs and it didn't make sense. It was just one of those things that at a certain scale, it just doesn't make sense. So you have to think in terms of the game we're playing when you're thinking of the design of it itself. Marv? Please? Anyone? Bueller? One gold card, please. That's all I ask for. But yeah, that was the major thing. And like Jade did a whole stream or video on it too, where he was like, yeah, this does not make any sense whatsoever. Like, it's not as fun as we may have thought it would be. Like, trying to get through a bathroom, there's not enough stuff happening. So it has to make sense with the game we're playing and creating at the end of the day, or else it's kind of counterproductive to the goals of creating something that's fun to play. What do you mean? What was I saying? About the scale? Maybe that's my best guess. I don't know when you left. Look at the larva. Larva, please. Oh yeah, so if someone in Playgrounds made the house, like an actual playable place, and it just was, the scale was all wrong. Oh, there's larva around here. I'm gonna lose my mind not having a bounce pad or two. Not think I was gonna have to run this far.
Just looking, I promise.
Be fun if there was a full-size person you had to avoid. Oh god, just get stomped every once in a while. That'd be hilarious. Scales have respawned. We need those too. I'm hoping to mess with the snake roof, serpent roof as well. We need to farm these as much as we can. There's the larva. No, let me off. I'll leave you alone as soon as you give me your scales. Alright, I promise. Twitch always seems to be quiet. Getting better at riding the snake train too. Being less impatient. Oh jeez, I get long. An hour late. Is this mega build finished yet? Right. I know, this guy builds so slow. Mega build's gonna take 6 centuries. I don't have a gold card. Dude, my gold card chance turned off? No luck right now. I haven't gotten a gold card in so long. Been years. Yeah, we finished the whole thing. We're working on the next mega build now. There he is. He grub sledge too, actually. So. Go away, snake. I want you here, but I'm not ready.
Tastes better when you hunt it yourself.
Same with gold cards. Yeah, it's a struggle right now. It's a real struggle. Pain and misery at the moment. Come here. Back? No, we're good. I hope they add more area where this guy goes. Thoroughly enjoyed this. No. Got it. Back here. You just worked late, gotta go get some groceries right now. No worries, we're just getting started. The build is started. I can't say anything other than that. We're lining up the first piece, and then I was like, I need some bounce web elevators to make this not unbearable.
Let's go!
Hit 20. Alright, we're good. Well, in fact, while building the pyramids, the Egyptians spent several days in a row looking for insects. Hey. We'll say I'm making the Great Tower of Pisa right now, pretty much. Need to touch every bug statue I have and just run around destroying everything. I think you can only stack one at a time. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Don't quote me on that.
Buggy gotta work on that cardio.
I've also created my own pathway to my base, so we can get there faster. Not tired of going through the anthill. Found a shortcut.
Way too damn close. Yeah, boy. Slam.
No, his body's in the... Rude. Can't even get it, but can't even get it. Does anyone know where the milk molar here is? Or am I crazy? Is it like in a tunnel somewhere? I can't find it. Was it in the wall? It still seems too far away. Can't for the life of me find it. Drive me nuts. Thinking about making some kind of build around the snake when it would go through. That would be really interesting to see. Very difficult because I don't know how big the hitbox is that it deals with, so it would definitely take some trial and error, but it would be really cool.
Bottle that up and make a killing.
There it is. Oh yeah. Got one, perfect.
A fine piece of handiwork, Mr. Smalls.
An insight to the struggles of mega building. This is for me. Yeah, this is not for you. I'm working here. He's trying to play every time.
Got you on the flip side, player.
This is the reality of building without the handy net. Okay, stop bouncing. So close. It brings me back to the days of building the pagoda base. Quite painful at times. Alright, that is bloody perfect. I don't know if you could make it more centered than that. Alright, we're good. Mushroom walls are not a very good thing. Whenever you're trying to line things up, burr floors. It's always burr floors. That was like, doing the whole pagoda base in the first game was torture. That was, I don't know how I ended up making it through that build, that thing. That was, it was rough. Such a painful project. An absolute labor of love. I feel like that's how that's supposed to work. What is that? Interesting, blatant habanero big brother? What? What are you talking about, Willis? Okay, so then we need to raise this floor up at least half block, right? Gotta cover as much of this as I can. I think a half block will be perfect. Good. That's quite unkind of you to do that to me. Why are you so irritating? The name is random? Seems so weird. I want this whole thing up, though. So as I'm looking at my reference material for this, what I'm kind of thinking... We have to raise the floor up one thing, because we have to get over all these stupid leaves, unfortunately. Which they're going to cause some problems, so we're going to have to do some funky things overall to deal with them. But I think, can we... Is this going to work? Okay, well that works. For who knows what reason. That... I don't mind coming over this a little bit, honestly. I think that would work well, the way that's lined up. Got the basis done. This whole floor is going to be really important. Love how this covers this just... Oh, that's going to be slightly annoying. I guess we're going up. What am I doing?
Just looking, I promise.
Building on the next level. That's where we're building. That doesn't matter. We're gonna need so much burr. Oh, this reminds me of Grounded 1 so much. What's the plan for this lamp? So I have part of that problem thought out in my head, and part of that problem not thought out in my head. So I'm kind of hoping we can make these like fin-looking things, kind of an interesting part of the design in some way, shape, or form. It's going to take us a little work to figure out how that's going to work. But at first glance, I kind of want it to just be an interesting, like, highlighted detail that will build something around. So maybe it kind of frames this and it becomes like an interesting, similar to how we use the pagoda base and the lamp as well. Just some sort of interesting fin type design on the front of it. Not a whole plan yet by any means. And then on the inside, I'm kind of thinking the way this is going to work is the entrance is probably going to be here or something like that. So this will, I'll step back a little bit. I just want to get things kind of started. So you'll have maybe a little walkway that's like 2 things thick in the front. And then that'll allow you, it'll probably have side entrances too and stairs going down both sides. I don't have it all planned out quite yet. But you'll walk through the main entrance right in the center. And then this is going to be potentially like a 2-story atrium type space. And then if we can find an interesting way to sort of build around this thing, in a perfect world, the light at night would light the inside of this. I have no clue yet if it actually lights anything up, because it doesn't quite have the effect that like the lampposts have. It doesn't look like it shines on anything, so I don't know once we like get a wall built up back here if it's actually going to do what I hope it does. But I'm kind of hoping we can sort of like frame it out with some like ramps or something like that. The quarter triangle pieces, or using stairs around it of some kind. And so it'll just be kind of a funky, goofy little, it'll be a weird little design piece kind of on the inside. And if it lights up at night, then so far I haven't found any hitboxes with it. It doesn't interact at all. You can clip anything into it and it does not care from what I've seen. So it doesn't mind doing anything. So I think if it lights up, we could do some interesting little like bat signal is the easiest way to explain it. Sort of silly designs is my current thought process. If it doesn't light up, then it just kind of becomes like a glass, some type of like stained glass looking window type thing that we just kind of work around and we build. And worst comes to it, we just build over it, and it is what it is. But I'm kind of hoping that we can kind of come in and maybe have some stairs that go around it in some way, but I don't have the floor plan designed by any means. But we'll see. Burr won't be an issue for you. You have an amazing burr farm just under you into the garden. Lint is the big issue. Yeah, the lint is going to be, ugh. It's going to be horrible. The lint was always my struggle, though, so I'm used to that.
A fine piece of handiwork.
It's the never-ending battle. We're going to run out of this instantly, though. This is going to go so fast. The burr farm that you can get, I think it's right. Yeah, it's literally right here, right? Yeah, the burr's easy. We have like the best burr spot in the entire map right here. So, and we have more right here too if we need it. So, burr's fine. It's really going to come down to getting lint, which I probably need to be farming like every day that I can think of it, honestly. We should probably think about that more. Could you do what I tell you to do? Yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount, but it's not a lot. I need to be on top of this a little bit more. So we're gonna have to take breaks to do lint farming a decent amount. What's up, Sniper? Found something everyone might like to know about. Let it rip. Oh yeah, the fire pit has a lot of burr too, but honestly, it's so I'm never gonna have an issue with that. That's not ever gonna be the problem. Where's their lint here? Is it? Fall onto the ground when I deconstructed something? What is this? I need to find every piece of it, but I feel like there's one actually here. Yeah, the picnic table's not a horrible spot for it. I don't know what the resource scanner is smoking. I don't feel like there's a lint thing, right? Unless I'm crazy. Fire? Where would it be? I got no clue. You never know. It's in the ground? Oh. No way to get to it. That would make sense. Why don't you invite some trusted viewers to gather for you? I tend to not invite anyone into my world. It just becomes one of those struggles that if you invite one person to your world, then everyone's gonna want to do it, and it becomes a struggle, in my opinion. That lint on the scarecrow. We need to find those locations. It would make sense that it has lint, but where? Not what we wanted to do. The chair glitch? Oh yeah. Paralyzer did a video on that. A nude way to do it. You can get up there from that side. I think you have to go garden, don't you? Arrow's a really hard spot because you have such a tight space and it goes everywhere. But we need every piece we can try to get, right? 5 is better than nothing right now. I don't have very much. We won't get very far without lint at the moment, so
Buggy out of gas.
it's worth it. Crazy, you're the last person allowed.
Oh, snap! Another one down. I need a rock for a sip of water right now.
Water? I feel like I should just be able to hydrate. Oh, there is water that drops right there. Perfect.
Ah, that hit the spot.
Lovely. Okay. Teddy bear in the box. Not far from the garden. Yeah, I've farmed that one. I want to see this scarecrow. Because if we're only using the teddy bear, it doesn't spawn very quickly either, from what I noticed. So I kind of need to scout this out a little bit, or else we're gonna struggle. Just finished 100% of the first game. I will say it sucked. What? First game was so much fun. I love that game. That's to this day. I mean, now that we have Grounded 2, this is by far going to be a better game. But I love Grounded 1. I had a ton of fun with that game. Oh, your lift ride would work again. Yeah, it probably would. It's a different technique. From what I've seen, it's like photo mode. Naturally, photo mode is doing silly things. But yeah, it's a photo mode glitch again. Same with like how they did the daggers and stuff. What's up, Ace? Welcome.
Nasty stuff.
Doing good. Once lost materials in the ground and appeared in a cave I was going to. Hey, that's better than nothing, right? Normally they're just gone forever. I know what the clip is. I saw your comment. My buggy bouncing like a silly boy. I'm assuming they're just like on the edge of it. do this? Why would they do this? My most needed material in the hardest spot ever. Oh, I guess you could get up from here. Never mind. Mini mega build around the Scarecrow waste to create. Honestly, that is probably something, depending on how difficult this ends up being, that is absolutely something that can happen. That is very similar to what I did with Fur. I'm gonna fall through the map. What's happening? Flipping through everything. Don't fall. Gonna fall. This is horrifying. When are they gonna make spiders actually climb like spiders? That's the question. What the heck is this? Don't do it. No! Don't jump. Oh, there it is. Did you look at that? This won't even be easy.
Oh, yeah, the good stuff.
They need to make it like consistent how you jump off of this. Ugh. Oh, oh, sorry. I was thinking I missed that you finished 100%, like you did a 100% playthrough. Yeah, it's a grind. Hey, we got it. Wasn't too bad. Issue is there's a lot more somewhere.
A-wheel drive. Let's go.
Why do they have to make lint the bane of my existence in every grounded? Yeah, it was a really fun game, but yeah, 100% is an absolute grind. I will give you that. Up. The light does light up at night, but it's not very bright. Honestly, that might work, though. If it was too bright, it might be annoying. Just a little bit of light, like inside a base, I think is actually going to be pretty good. I won't complain. That seems kind of like a good deal for me. Not planning on staying too long. I'm super tired. I'll stay for a while. Yeah. You'll stay for the entire stream then. Dude, why do I drop that 0 FPS every time I'm fighting those guys?
I don't make them like I used
So
to.
irritating. And I could have just respawned right here, couldn't I have? It's good. That was good. Respawn at the base though. Ever see a Black Widow crawling on a wall to get me, I'll actually cry. I wonder if they're going to bring back Black Widows. Be interesting. I think, Ahal, I think you jump off the direction you're pressing, but it's like such a weird distance that it makes it really hard getting off of things. Add a giant dryer with a lint trap. That would make my life way easier. What do you mean your chat? You didn't make a chat. The Black Widow buggy, that'd be horrifying. Oh, and now my lint is up in the face.
My heart
Great,
is
love it.
pumping.
Good. We're killing it. We're killing it tonight. All it was I made a comment on the
That hit the spot.
the what's it on the clip. Move. Yeah, I said I saw the clip. I know what the clip is. You missed my chat, is what happened. Tables have churned. Now I have to do the second game, but it's gonna be like 3 times the size. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of extra work. A flying buggy? I was talking about this in Jade's stream earlier. The only issue, not that I would be upset with a flying buggy, the only issue that I see with it is that it's the same thing with the first game. As soon as you unlocked zip lines and you started making zip lines everywhere, it ruins the scale of the game. It absolutely just destroys your sense of being small. And so if you can fly, is assuming it's not something that's like the very last thing you get in the game after you've beaten the entire story, which then everyone would complain about. So I don't know if they could do that necessarily without it just pissing everyone off. What I'm thinking is I would rather see, I mean, they're gonna have fast travel of some sorts, so that sort of solves one of the major issues. And I would rather see something like the cricket being the way you fast travel around, essentially. In that being like you can move really fast with the cricket, depending on how they make it. And then from there, you would be able to have some type of like charged jump. And then that would sort of remove the issue in my mind. Because as soon as you can fly, you're no longer the small little person, like stuck in this shrunken world.
You go running off on me.
And that it kind of ruins your immersion in this being shrunken down kind of gameplay. So if there was a way like you could jump really fast across the map with the cricket, and that would be a fast travel, and then using a huge amount of its stamina, you could leap to a really high location. That would be the best way that I can think of it personally. If they can find a way to do the flying thing, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But the issue is as soon as you can fly, it's the only thing people are going to do to get around the map. And it completely ruins the immersion of what they're creating in the game. So it's a really tough one to tackle, because I think what I'm enjoying about the game right now most is that the scale feels so much better than the first game. Like, you felt shrunk in the first game, but with the yard, the scale is just nowhere near. The verticality with the new update is like my favorite thing. Like, I've never felt this small before, but when you fly over everything, it just kind of feels, it'll feel off. I know people would like it, so I wouldn't necessarily say it's a problem. Captain, thank you for following. Welcome in. But it starts to adjust the way you feel of this. So it's a really difficult balance. Dude, where the heck is this lint? This is horrible. Found one stinking piece of it. I feel like this thing should be littered in it. Like, impossible to find anything. Gotta move you off the big screen back to the laptop so I can start building again. Sounds good. Raids are getting harder in the garden. Yeah, they are difficult. They are definitely difficult. Oh, jeez. No! Alright, I give up. We're going to the teddy bear. Sorry, Chip. All through the world? He fell through the pumpkin, of course. I'm also going to follow you on Twitch. Thank you. Appreciate it. It really helps. Definitely helps. Make sure to like the YouTube stream as well. Follow me on Twitch. Definitely helps the channel. have to be kind of weak to fight with, because balance, then the cricket would be the only buggy anyone would use. Yeah, and that's why I say I think it has to be like a later game thing. It wouldn't be something you can get the cricket really fast. But in terms, as soon as you make a buggy that's based around movement, that's all anyone's going to use anyways. They all have to have their certain things. So like the spider and the ladybug are sort of combat. The spider is a little bit more now movement based with how they adjusted it. But I think overall it's mostly a combat buggy, but that's kind of defeated by the ladybug now. But people are always going to lean towards one as they make them better and better. So it's honestly just part of the struggle of making it. It's like as soon as you make a faster car in a game, that's the one that everyone uses. So something you can't really avoid at the end of the day. God, I keep hitting buttons too fast. Limit the fight time you were allowed, or you'd have to make the what am I trying to say? You would have to make the, like, you couldn't use a flying mount, couldn't be something that just endlessly flies. Like, you would have to, it would have to make it so difficult because the stamina would have to be really low, or you would just fly across the entire map instantly, and that sort of defeats the purpose of everything else in the game. So the cricket would be a way that would reduce it, because if there was a flying one, no one would use anything with a flying one, too. So they both run into the same exact issue. At least the cricket makes it so it doesn't ruin the scale of the game, which is currently what I feel like is working really, really well. It's a double-edged sword, for sure. Kind of felt like they started messing with more verticality towards the underground of the Blend development. And really land, yeah, they leaned into it for sure, and I think it does an exponentially better job too. The scale of the character and stuff feels better in this game. I did feel really shrunk in the first game for the first bit, but it very quickly is, because of the size of the map, it is quickly goes away. You don't feel that sense of grandeur, whatever, as much very quickly into the first game. Whereas I feel like I'm getting smaller with the updates currently. Which I think is a really good positive towards the whole feeling of the game in general. So you know I'm the Chewy guy from 2 seconds ago? Oh, perfect. Sounds good, Catherine. You follow me on Twitch? Yes, you do. Thank you for the follow as well, Off Grid and Lord as well. Appreciate you guys. Oh, jeez. Reading too much. They bring back Black Ox Beetles. They should make them fly just to horrify everyone. That would be an interesting addition. They're definitely they were a fun enemy in the first game, so I wouldn't be opposed to them coming back, but they definitely would need some decent adjustments. They would be a really interesting, like, tank combat buggy, too, which would be kind of fun. Opinion, you should get a flying buggy endgame. Yeah, it would have to be, like, the last thing. But the issue with that is that most people are not going to play after they beat the entire game, too. I don't know, it's really hard to balance the whole concept of it. Really difficult thing to balance in a game like this. I'm not sure how you do it right. But then again, I'm not the devs, so that's their problem to think about. If they figure it out, they'll do it. If they don't, they won't. Cricket with its jump, but the cooldown is crazy. Yeah, or it uses like all of the stamina. So you just have to sit. You get a big jump, and then you get just normal little jumps for the rest of it. Would be kind of an interesting way to do it. Oops. one that fell back there. But we'll never find it. Uh-oh. Oh, gee. We're stuck. No. Down here.
I'd rather be on top than
Koi
below
with
this
wings.
one.
Screw it. Screw all of it. Just go crazy. The greenhouse, drop down, or just a waist height greenhouse. Yeah, it's a very common greenhouse design. It's more of a like personalized design one. Not something. A lot of community gardens have like a small space like this. Not all of them, of course, but I've definitely seen quite a few that do. Assuming this is all the way under the map too.
Yeah.
I think it's a slightly heavier design or higher design of thing. Like, I think like my there's a little park next to my house and there's a little community garden in it, and the whole thing has a slightly raised planter bed with just like curved PVC pipes, and so I think this would be sort of that same
Way too
concept.
damn cold for riding out here.
Is just maybe a slightly higher design one, like something a little bit more time into the whole thing, is all. What a horrible count, but... No, I need that! Oh, it's gone. Yeah, we're never finding that. She gone. Alright, was there anything else? What was that? That one. Get me out of here. I think I'm gonna head off the stream. Oh my gosh. Sounds good, Crazy. We'll talk to you later. Or a flying buggy in New Game Plus if they end up going that route. That could be a way to make that adjustment. After you've beaten the whole thing and you're sort of past that whole feeling, that could be an interesting way to do it. I don't think that's right. That's about all we're getting. I don't think there's anything else. Maybe we find the one that fell there or something. Flying fish dies after 2 mins out of water. Slow on land and has to land to go back in the air. This thing was slightly more precise. I feel like if they were going to do a flying buggy, that I don't know if there's any other way you could do it other than New Game Plus without just ruining the whole feel of it. Whereas, as soon as you're in New Game Plus, like, you've beaten everything, you've done it, so that would make... That's the only way I could justify a real flying buggy. Otherwise, it just sort of... It ruins the immersion of what they've created so far. I think it would be a negative overall. Sounds good, Crazy.
Buggy gotta work.
Crazy's a good kind of troll. He's the acceptable kind of troll. One I will allow. So close, but so far. Alright. 70 in a run is not horrible. Not Not terrible. To be honest, I hope they don't add a flying mount period. The skill of the game and the fun of going on a big farming trip across the map and running back the next day. Full bag of chests. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm enjoying. It's a grind, don't get me wrong, but I think it leans into what the concept of this game is the best. Which is being a shrunken down teenager. At the end of the day, I think is what makes the game really unique. Oh, plant finder.
Didn't even need instructions.
Yeah, it's a very satisfying feeling. Burn who at the fire pit? Crazy? Just finished my first survival airship. Oh, nice. There's just something so satisfying about building and survival. It's a grind, don't get me wrong, but if the point is, if your goal is to play a lot of Grounded because you love this game, I don't see a better way to do it, personally. And we're out. It makes the game last a really long time. I like it. They made Lint too tiny. It's a glitch, DC. It's not intended to be that small. It is. I'm not really sure how it made it into the game like that, honestly. I am a little surprised that they let that one by, because pine cones have the same thing. If you haven't played the first game, it's 30 times the size in the first game. They're way bigger. So it is currently just some weird thing that they didn't deal with for some reason.
I'd rather be on top than below this one. Woo! My heart is pumping.
Scatter, yeah, and the explosive thing is also
Got you
something
on the
that
flip
wasn't
side, player.
in the game as in the first game as well. So I assume they'll fix it. I did talk personally to Eric. He was on one of our streams a couple months ago, and I was like, please fix. Pretty please. They know about it. Do something about highlighting dropped loot, maybe a scan from one of the buggies. How do you feel about the loot gathering? I see you spam click and I pick a lot up. Unfortunately, on console and controller, it doesn't seem to be fair. I think that's why they added the gather feature. If you hold E, that's specifically why. At some point, I hope they make this faster. That's my current issue with it. I like it as an addition to the game with the buggies that they like vacuum things up, but they're too slow. That's my only complaint about it. But on PC, I just spam the living crap out of it. That's about the only way I've found to deal with it. Oh yeah, small burr floors, that would work. Would help a little bit. I don't know if it'll work on everything, but... it's closer than it was. Not perfect, but kind of what you deal with. Sometimes... oh, of course. What? Why did it change to that? Something in the first game that happened that you could do was you sort of looked away and did this really fast. It would allow you to place things sometimes. It's not a perfect system, but it does work sometimes. And I had to trick the game into letting you place something by doing this. But it really doesn't like this leaf. One day, this is one of the things I talk about most. I promise you, in 2 months, we'll be half done with this build, and I'll come over here and place something like this, and it'll just work. I don't know why it happens that way, but it does. Let's not leave that underneath. Wanted a break from creative? Yeah, I get burnt out on creative. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids generation. I've been waiting for this game for a long time. Yeah, same here. It's a really fun one. To beat the main story, I have had my feel of the sense of scale. Just give me a flying mount so I can farm resources on optional bosses after. Yeah, that's what it comes after. But the issue with that is that most people beat the game and they're not going to do anything else. So it's like... yeah, it's sort of one of those struggles that I don't know how you get past. It's a really difficult one, because once you beat the story, the majority of people aren't going to keep playing. That's, at least from my experience in the first game, that is how it went. The vast majority of people stopped. So it becomes one of those things that all those people will scream and cry and get really mad that the flying buggy didn't happen until later, and they'll be like, it should have been earlier. It was so annoying. And it's a lose-lose from the developer side, I think. Only lame people, yeah. That's just, those were the people in the first game that had those issues, so I don't know how you get past it. One day, it'll let me. I don't know why, but it does. The loot scatter is my biggest pet peeve of the game so far. Yeah, it was... okay. The lint in the first game bounced an insane amount. So it had a different problem, but it was really big. It was so much larger. Like, one piece was near the size. Like, if you look at an average lint piece, it was... like a fifth of the size of the actual like resource node. So it is a lot better. But in the first game, they bounced like bouncy balls, and they don't seem to bounce like they used to, but they're just weirdly small. But pine cones were the same thing. Pine cone pieces were the actual size of the pine cone itself. So when you're looking at the pine cone, that's exactly how big they were. That's driving me nuts. But yeah, I hope that lint being something like in a normal world, lint like sticks to things. I hope eventually they change it to that. That would be the best thing they could do with lint in general. And in the first game, I don't know why they haven't fixed it yet, unless it's just like a difficult thing that I don't understand as someone who doesn't develop games. In the first game, when you destroyed a rock, everything was like right there. The only annoying thing was that they like rolled on if you were on the side of a hill or something like that. So they weren't fine. They ended up being totally fine, but I'm not 100% sure what the slow fix is, the issue with it at the moment. Why is there only 4 flower petal flowers on the map? That isn't on the picnic table, and 3 of the 3 are next to the picnic table. There's flowers everywhere, dude. What? They're all over the place. There's flowers in here, there's flowers in there, there's flowers here. You can get flower petals in these. You can get flower petals near the fairy thing. You can get flower petals. I think I got some over there potentially too. There's a lot of them. I don't know why they're not showing, but it also depends why. I don't know why when you search, I wish it would show the whole map. I don't know why it only shows your like proximity where you were looking. Can't say. But yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, and the greenhouse too on the table. Yeah. Mr. Papa, welcome in. Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, it should show everything. I don't know why. I don't know why. Can't understand that one. I got no answer for that. Why? I'm not being attacked when I wake up. This doesn't make any sense. Let me skip the farming time so I can get more lint. Please.
A fine piece of handiwork, Mr. Smalls.
Does the new broodmother have the same? I have no clue. I have not
bottle
beaten
that
the
up
broodmother
and make a
fight or
killing.
anything. I have not finished it. We still have to turn the power cord on, fix the junction boxes. We still have a decent amount. I don't actually know how much more of the story we have left. Personally, quite yet. But that is for another day. Rope sludge, dang it. It has an attack from the IBM? Yeah, although I don't know. I've avoided watching the fight, so I don't get spoilers. You always get a little bit of spoilers. It's not like you can avoid it completely, but I've been trying to avoid as much as I can. Checking something. Close to it? Okay. Yeah, I don't want to rush to it, but I feel like we did a lot of the story pretty fast. Excellent. Thing. Hello. Work. Another thing that I really want is for photo mode to be a larger distance. This thing is going to be impossible to take cool thumbnails of. It's going to be so big. I need the radius to go further. Makes it really difficult. Could it be daytime, please? Buggy. The buggies are kind of morons. I will say that. Where'd my lint go? Rude. It's gonna take forever. Rough life. Let's see. Definitely going to be some testing and stuff that we got to do. Let's see how much light this thing actually emits. Only I could build floors. Butterfly buggy would be interesting. There it is. Yeah, if anyone wants to know what it was like building a pagoda base, this was the experience. thing was so much effort. Oh, so close. Look at that. We're up. Ouch. Oh, you're up. Handy Nat would be so incredible. Can't tell if that's lighting things up or if that's my armor. Can't tell if my armor emits a glow or not. One time I get lint, it is a small... Is it small as an atom? Yeah. That's currently a glitch. Or something wrong with the coding of some kind in the game. It's not intended, as far as I know. That and Pinecone are both weirdly small. They were not those sizes in the first game. And all the other resource nodes are not weirdly small like that, so I can't imagine it's something they intended. Come on. Dang it. Gosh. Put Subway Sewer servers gameplay under the stream, iPad, kids like that, and I will watch longer. I don't think people watch me because they're looking for more intense gameplay. That's what you watch Seedinky for. People watch me because it's more relaxing and it's not overstimulating all the time. My question is, why does everything else work as, like, everything happens at the same time, but except for the spinning wheel? It has to spin all of them individually. Not sure I understand. Chest. And why did I say I wanted to build with verticality in this one? I don't know. Mistakes were made. Major mistakes were made. Why no lingonberry chair? Probably because I need more time to do things like that. Just takes a lot of time to build those models out and design them and
I'd
everything.
rather be on top than below this one.
Did you finish the floor yet? Oh god, no.
My heart is
I'm
pumped.
gonna have to farm so much lint off stream, it's gonna be a struggle. The floor is gonna take way too long. We do like pain. I have noticed that. I don't know if I like it, but I just deal with it because I like building too much. I'm a glutton for punishment, it seems. Did a small amount of lint harvesting. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of lint, but I hadn't processed it fast enough. So we're... Stop playing around, Chip.
Didn't even need instructions.
Quit farting around. Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared enough for Lint. I spent all day doing... When I wasn't studying for my interview tomorrow, I spent the majority of the day bringing everything here, which meant I didn't have a whole lot of time to spend processing everything. Lint specifically being crazy slow. But we can do this.
See ya, little fella. Woo! Let's go! Yeah! Take a breath, big guy.
Gotta get rid of all this stuff. Mostly what I did off stream when I was mega building in Grounded 1, because I used so much burr, was farm Lint. Everything else you don't really have to like be that intentional about, because you just get a lot. But Lint was always the struggle. And that pattern continues in Grounded 2. Never-ending grind.
Help me grab this for later, would ya?
But naturally, burr's my favorite material in the game, so... Burr floors, specifically. No, we're playing on medium. I did the woe grind in Grounded 1, and I prefer building with a slight challenge, not building with pure masochism. Be a thing where you can customize your buggy. I mean, we'll get armors and stuff, so I mean, it's not necessarily customized, but we'll be getting upgrades and mutations and stuff, so you'll be able to make your buggy better and more individualized, I guess. I hope they add like some decent armor types and stuff to make them so you can play to like enhance your play styles a little bit. That'd be pretty cool. I would be a fan of that. Wouldn't complain about it. What's this? Oh. I don't need it, but Loot Goblin got a loot. What materials are you going to use with mushroom brick, with ash cement? Not in the game. Pumpkin specifically right now is my main plan. I have some interesting ideas floating in my head. I wouldn't necessarily say that they are fully planned out or anything, but I think pumpkin and mushroom are going to make some interesting combinations between the two. Yeah, the tarantula item kind of gives you a little bit of customization. True. I saw someone made a video of like this poison venom ladybug build. That was pretty insane. So hopefully they keep that up. I think those would be good additions. Especially with the ability to play the game sort of how you want right now. Like, outside of bows, as we were talking about last night, everything feels really, really viable. I don't feel like there's one build specifically that, like, absolutely dominates, especially with some of the nerfs that they just did. So I definitely think there's a lot of potential for them to kind of continue down that line of, I don't know, if your buggy could enhance your wizard abilities and your stealth abilities and stuff in some way. Kind of interesting. Or you're bashing clubs or whatever, however you play the game. Could be some interesting ways that they could mess with it. Larva bee coming at me. I don't one-hit them either. Or I don't one-hit them. But they're angry little buggers. They never learn, that's for sure. I mean, it's just like the ants, they're just aggro. Game would be fun with 4 people rushing Axel. Yeah, it is a really fun multiplayer game. I sort of committed to the solo player lifestyle. But the first time I played Grounded was with 3 of my buddies, and we had a lot of fun. It was hilarious. That's what got me into the game in the first place, was the ridiculous stupidity that we came up with while playing. The hedge lab was an absolute shit show. Buggy that doesn't attack itself. You ride on it and attack from there. I mean, there's definitely... I mean, that's sort of where they're at with the ladybug, so I definitely think there's some potential or something. Hard to know what you would do, I guess, is the main thing. Like, what's the attack? I guess if you're riding, like, horseback sort of concept, so you'd be, like, cleaving things with a big sword. Or shooting with an arrow. Could be an interesting concept.
Let's go!
Because, like, I don't really find myself... I don't see myself using the ladybug buggy all that much. Except for really specific situations. I mean, I'll get one, but I don't see myself using it all that much because it's not... It doesn't move around that fast. I prefer combat. Like, I didn't use the buggy at all outside of a tank in the Axel fight. It's not something I found myself being very useful. It could be fine for raids, but you have to be prepared for it then, and have the ammo set up, so it's like its own mini game. I mostly prefer them for their mobility at this moment. Spider's nice for getting around the new area with the lack of fall damage. The ant's great for this exact thing for farming. But outside of that, I don't know what else I personally would use them for. I like that they all kind of have their own little niche, though. It works well. You still haven't beat Axel? What difficulty are you playing on? That's the real question. It's on WoW, it's just a really hard fight on WoW, but I beat it with... What armor did I use in the beginning? I was using the... Might have been a Northern Scorpion build or something like that. First time. Wasn't that? I think it was this. I mean, a decent amount of... a lot of it, I was using the Sizzling mage set. The wolf spider... No, it was the wolf spider, that's what it was. The wolf spider armor. Yeah. And just did damage with a sword. But yeah, the Mantis armor is really good. I found that to be pretty dang good for it. Easy mode with your son? I mean, it's always difficult with a kid. that makes it more difficult for sure. Because then you're trying to keep them alive and stuff. But if you built out the Mantis armor, use like the Mantis sword, you should be fine. Now you could use, gosh, there's so much you could use. Watch one of Seedinky's videos and use one of his builds. But it really comes down to just learn the attack pattern. As soon as you get the attack pattern down and you perfect block, it's all about getting the right perfect blocks. Don't let it heal a bunch. That was one thing. Like, make sure you kill like 2 to 3 of the caterpillars that come up. So like have your son post up and be ready to instantly kill one of those. And then from there, once you get the attack pattern down, use the dodge as much, because the like to dodge the like spiky sort of arrow volley, you just use the dodge. It's all about timing. And bring lots of heals. And just have your spiders tank damage if you need them, and then I just left them. I don't even try to revive them once they go down. They die, they die.
Brutal.
Is what it is at that point. Don't even use Ladybug to clear Tang. Just hopped over it if needed. Yeah. I mean, with the Sour Sensation mutation, you don't really have to worry about it too much. The glitch to pretty much one-shot bugs with the Ladybug. Yeah, I saw that. The frickin' machine gun Ladybug. I don't have the Ladybug yet. I haven't gotten it. I guess I actually do have the bed now, don't I? At that last stream. Could get that. That would be smart. A hard time with blocking. Haven't figured out how to perfect block. Not even a grounded one. That's practice. Just practice. Fight the same bug 4, 5, 6 times over and over again. You'll get used to it. But that's perfect blocking is the number one thing to learn in this game. Figure out the timing, and the game becomes incredibly easy really fast. Until you figure out that timing, though, it is not all that easy. I was not good at perfect blocking for a long time, but I have a lot of hours in the game now, so that helps quite a bit. But yeah, the sooner you figure out perfect blocking, the easier life becomes in general.
Man's gotta eat.
Yeah, anti-venom smoothies are good too. Those are pretty helpful.
A fine piece of handiwork, Mr. Small.
Decent amount of healing smoothies as well. Eat some food beforehand. The food can be really helpful. That's always important, is to eat a certain type of food so you can get like the crit damage, or there's a lot of different things, but food is always very important. At least in the boss fights. I don't find it useful for the majority of the game, but in boss fights, it's very, very helpful. The key being just do as much damage as humanly possible. So like Mac and B's crit hit chance is good. If you need it, venom resistance, scorpion skewers is fine. Those are probably the 2 best ones for that fight specifically. You can also make sure you've got the venom reduction on. None of this is all that helpful. But yeah. Mithridatism for sure. I've just tanked my way through playing it. Yeah, it's really hard to tank your way through that fight, honestly. I would not say that's an easy one to tank through, because he can just one-shot you if you're not blocking the right blocks, the right attacks. But once you get the hang of it, I think it's pretty surprising how easy it ends up being. But, I mean, I died the first time. I played on WoW the first time and got absolutely obliterated. So, it takes a little while, even when you know what you're doing. Snail armor with a shell shocker and a high stun one-handed weapon. Yeah, the stun's decent. Doing it again. Oh, now you're trying to do it? Compared to all the buggy nests, the ladybug is just a giant bed. It is kind of weird. I don't really know why. Like a ladybug wouldn't even fit in here. They're huge. I was kind of surprised by it. I don't dislike the way it looks, but it doesn't feel right. It feels off to me. Definitely feels a little off. Get over here.
Roadster, let's go!
You go get my ladybug. The ladybug hot pocket. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
Buggy gotta work on their cardio.
You ever have trouble finding pollen for meals? The yellow dandelions? Yep. It's a good spot for those. Yeah, it does look like a turtle shell. Looks like a creature weapon from High on Life. I haven't seen that. It's definitely, it's an interesting one. Like, the other ones feel like nests. I mean, they're not... The Orb Weaver doesn't look like it fits in it either, I guess. So that's kind of like the struggle. If they were the actual size, they would be too big. But the Ladybug one is, I don't know, a little interesting. It looks cool. It just doesn't feel like it makes sense. It was an interesting choice. I don't know. Not that it really matters. At the end of the day, it's just a bed. There might be some interesting way to utilize them as like design features, but I haven't quite figured out how to use them more interestingly. Check skills. Oh! See you later, napkin. I don't know how you make these builds. I have the attention span of a goldfish. I mean, I have ADHD, so I also have the attention span of a goldfish, but I also have this like hyperfixation with things, so that's part of it. I also make content, so for me, that also gives me like a rhyme and a reason for why I do what I do. I have an architectural degree, so I enjoy building and designing things, so that helps. It's not for everyone necessarily. Like, I wouldn't say everyone's going to enjoy building in this game or in any game, but it is something I enjoy. Come on, we can get it. Yes, we got it. That was clutch. How are you still stunned?
Bro doesn't know which way is up. Give him a moment.
You know how often things respawn? I don't know the exact times in this game. I know in the first game, like lint and lint, charcoal, and stuff were like 5 in-game days, but I've seen a little bit of inconsistencies in this game currently, where like I feel like the teddy bear takes a really long time to respawn. The lint on the teddy bear specifically. So I don't know how consistent they are yet. And I don't think anyone's like dove into the files to figure that out that I know of. I know I figured it out because Jade in the first game did a whole thing on it and like dove into the files to figure it out with Apex.
Yeah.
Who needs rope sledge? That's not gross. a mouth working on creating a friend for Petey. Supposedly 3 days for respawn, 10 for mining stuff. Makes sense. Hard to know if everything's like super precise right now either. Feels like there's a handful of inconsistencies overall in the game, so haven't found a teddy bear. It's in the new area. It's in this like box. Like a wood crate sort of thing. Would you get over here? Yeah, hopefully in the next patch they fix a bunch of this stuff. I hope before we get a hot fix that fixes those things. So hope they're not waiting until the I guess the February update's going to be here sooner than later with playgrounds and stuff. So it's very likely that they get fixed in that, but hard to know. Very hard to know what their plan is, what's on their radar and what's not. The hard part is is like we all complain about these things, but how many people are sending in like bug issues is another part of the issue. I find a lot of the bugs don't actually get reported to them, so you may notice it. We may all notice that there's an issue, something not working how we think it should be, but if we don't all report it a bunch, they'll never know. Just because we're all experiencing it and complaining about it doesn't necessarily mean that they've been made aware of it enough that it's come up on their radar. I assume some of these things are definitely on their radar, but it's not a guarantee until we report it. Haven't had a Stranger Thets. Currently, I think there's a glitch that some people are experiencing raids and some are not. But if you finish the mixers, you no longer get those threats. Is also something to be aware of. Can't even get this one. Gotta build to it. Reported at least 4. Yeah, the more of us that report the issues, the faster they get fixed. For sure.
Take a breath, big guy.
It really makes a huge difference. I know there's some things that the devs like literally had no clue about. Did they fix this? Okay. Still all jank.
Science!
Oh, yeah, the good stuff.
There's a lot. Where is it all, though? There it is. How do you show your build if you're not part of the Discord? Join the Discord. You can send me a DM on Discord as well. I just need to know your Xbox username. And then I can add you as a friend and I can get you on the list. Feel bad for the Weevils, right? You look at Twitch chat because you seem to be looking at YouTube chats. I look at they're on the same exact chat, Ducky. They're not separate from me. I have a chat program that combines them, so I see everything exactly the same. But that's the only comment on Twitch I've seen, other than Chap a couple minutes ago. They're not separate chats or anything, though.
Just looking, I promise.
Oh my god. Dude, what happened? I just lagged to death. Rough. Random raw science near the lingonberry hedge that is blocked by an invisible wall and it endlessly annoys you. It is a struggle. The struggle I forgot you can do this.
Toughen you up.
Need to do that at some point. But yeah, early access, man, it's a struggle. I gotta go all the way down. Okay. But I seem to be one of the people that gets raids, and it seems like a lot of people are not getting them, so I don't know. But I know if you finish the mixers, you will not get raids, which is one thing for sure.
I can't take this.
Not that you have or haven't, but just something to be aware of. The earwigs are rough. They're a fun challenge, but they are tough. Especially while you're learning the perfect block, they are not very easy to perfect block currently. Attack the one I want to kill. Let's see.
Better help my bug and wrap things up here.
I'm coming.
Sorry I got you into this, man.
I feel like they do the same. Yeah, they do a lot of damage. Welcome in, by the way. Hope you're doing good. I now gotta go get all my lint again. It's all stuck up there now. My audio completely bugged out and sounds muffled after coming out of the Tang Lake. Oh, that's weird. Sometimes if you just log out really fast and log back in, that usually would fix an audio issue. Got ran over by the snake, ran as fast as I could to buy my buggy, and he was under the map with my backpack. Couldn't get to him, couldn't get there in time. Weirdly, I actually loved how the buggy the game is. There are some things that I find to be quite hilarious. I enjoy certain bugs in games. It reminds me of like old school, like Halo, all the crazy things you could do in that game. Like there are certain bugs that I think are very funny, and I don't mind. It's the game-breaking ones where you're crashing or it causes you to lose things, but. Like, yesterday during stream, I was moving all of my inventory over to this new base, and so naturally I had a chest filled with lint and pine cone and burrs and like all the really expensive things that are harder to farm currently, and I got attacked by a mantis, so I just set it down and wasn't paying attention to where I put it, and
Just looking, I promise.
I put the chest right in the path of the snake, and then because I was in a combat with the stupid mantis, I couldn't pick the chest back up to move it, so the snake just ran my chest over and absolutely destroyed it. It was so depressing. It was one of those like, oh
Hell,
my god,
don't
I just
you go
instantly
running
was
off
like,
on
I'm
me
reloading the save. This is not worth it, but it was so funny. Get out of there, quit farting around. I think the earwigs are bugged because no reasonable dev would give a creature with a 5-hit combo an attack does quarter of your health. The way I like to think of this game is a Dark Souls-like, Elden Ring-like combat game with graphics that make it look like a children's game. And so it in no way is meant to be an easy game, they've made it a lot easier because I think the demographic is slightly younger than a lot of people think. Because it's not made as like a kid's game, even though visually it looks that way. But it's always been intended to be a pretty difficult game overall. There were moments in the first game that were impossible. Like, there was some stuff that was really difficult that they had to work on for a while.
Yeah.
For some reason, my husband can't make our world shareable to me, so I can get on without him. Have you heard of that? I don't have a ton of experience playing with other people, like in shareable saves and stuff, so I don't necessarily know exactly. But sometimes Xbox, like it's an Xbox thing where like the Xbox servers are down or messed up. So it could be that. If it's something that's like you've just never been able to, my best guess would be to like reach out to the dev support and see if you're doing it right. Yeah, I have seen the chair flight glitch, yeah. It's funny, every time they patch it, someone finds a new way around it to do it again. They can't beat it. They just can't get rid of it. It says there's so much lint, but there's not. Where is it all hiding? It's like it's scanning for it, but I already got it. Dang, I was expecting a little bit. Nothing, though. Play on console. On a bug that makes your spider buggy be able to scale walls while jumping. Interesting. That's an interesting one. Fought our first mantis today. Yeah, they can be pretty difficult till you get used to it. Just imagine that as a boss, though. It was way harder as a boss. Play on console, so I chalk it up to that, but my game crashed constantly. It was unplayable until the last update. Yeah, that was the previous update broke a lot of things for a lot of people. Part of the struggle of building a game for PC and Xbox, different consoles and stuff, you're always kind of battling different hardware and how it affects different things. It can be really difficult to fix it for everyone. I think naturally, the last update, the issue was that they forced that out because of the seasonal stuff that was coming out with it. And unfortunately, that was just absolutely the wrong decision to make. They made a huge mistake on that one, and I think they would own up to that, being just... They felt like they had to get seasonal things out, and so they forced out an update when it was not ready to be out, and it needed a PTV to test things. I expect things to be wrong in early access, but that was one that just was really broken. It was an unfortunate one. I wish they would have just foregone some of that stuff that they did. Oh.
Felt that one in my soul. Ro doesn't know which way is up. Give him a moment.
But I think they've learned their lesson moving forward. That they're not gonna force things a little bit. First fight you fight. First time you fight a Black Widow, yeah. And then they made it way harder too. Like the original Black Widow was not anywhere near as difficult as it was as the final version that they did, where it gets like the attack speed boost and stuff. That oops. Ow. I missed not taking damage on this. I really missed that. What are you doing down here?
Yeah.
You can jump in chairs again. Yeah, it's a photo mode glitch. I saw the paralyzer video on it. Is there any other lint over here? Pretty sure it's paralyzer. Don't quote me on that. I wish this thing was just covered in lint. Make my life easy. The story of the first game was actually pretty dark as well. Oh, for sure. It was definitely a dark story. But I think we're headed not in, it may not be as much, but I think this one will have some similarities. People that are bad that you weren't expecting to be, people that are the whole thing. I think we'll see some of that too. Really like that they have an interactive map so that you don't have to go to an external website. Yeah, I wish the map worked a little bit better than it does. I will say that. It tends to be a little goofy. Like this stuff is not... I collected this already, so it's like this stuff is falling through the map, most likely, but it's not always as accurate as I wish it was. But for the most part, it's pretty good. Hopefully those are some of the things that they end up fixing over time, but time will tell.
Some first-class barbecue right here.
Can we make smoothies here, or did I take everything? I take my smoothie machine, didn't I? No, I didn't. Oh, I took the icicles, though. Crap. Didn't take the chocolate. Crafting station, too, though. Need healing before we leave. I took all my sprigs. We're screwed. Yeah. Should scan for tarantula parts. It shows all of them, but there's nothing there. Might be my game. That also is showing. It's not showing the parts. It's showing the location of Axel, I think, is part of that. So it's showing you that Axel spawns in that location is more so what I think it's showing you. So, like, bugs specifically show up as where a bug is spawning, or if something's dropped. It's sort of a, kind of how those work. What was I doing? Water. Holy cow, this base is so laggy. Ooh, we need this. How can I put this up here? Want that. Want that too. Keep finding random things that I need to move over from this base. Sure, might as well. It's here, right? You move all my weapons and trinkets and stuff over at some point. You thought you found it? No, Paralyzer posted a video on it like a week ago. He posted a video on it and how to utilize a trampoline and stuff to like launch yourself forward so you can fly across the map. Black Widow slaughtered me and my husband. I should cheeks clapped. Seriously though. Did the Manus fight. Funnily enough, he died and I ended up beating her. Dang, that's pretty good. That fight was horrible. Especially when you got into New Game Plus, that fight was horrible. It was such a hard fight. A lot of lint, you just chop falls. Yeah, and the plastic. Oh, the plastic cup below. Interesting. Probably missed a little bit, but eh. Felt terrible tonight. I asked my husband to go with me to the what I thought was pretty peaceful garden. No, it's not. Not peaceful. There's a lot of angry things there. Community for Grounded feels too small. I play this game a lot, and it just feels like there should be more fans. It's early access, more so than anything. I would say that the community for Grounded 1 after the 1.0 update was exponentially larger. But seeing as the game is in early access, it definitely shrinks the overall size of the community because not as many people know the game. Not everyone wants to play early access, and we have a long ways to go. We are a year plus out from being out of early access, so the community was a lot smaller in the first game as well during early access. So sometimes that's just part of the struggle of the EA content. But yeah, but it is the best. Oh, See, it crashed. Dang it. Bummer. One sec. Let's reload. Tracks even a single piece if you leave any behind. Yeah. It's so small right now, it doesn't even matter. Rub on a mite before you head out? No. I think I have the mite gold card, so I don't really need it. I think once we get to the end of early access, it goes to 1.0, the community is going to get way, way bigger. Very similar to the first game. And then that's when you're going to start seeing some like DLC content potentially that they've thought about. You're going to start seeing other updates and like post 1.0. The story will be done. We'll get some new fun stuff. But it's a different type of game when you're in early access. You hate Paralyzer now? Well, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, I love the grounded community. They're so great. Picked up the Axle Claw in a terrarium area, way far. No, that is specifically his terrarium. So there are a couple items. They just don't respawn there. Funnily enough, that is intended. That's like the clue to what you're fighting, I guess is the best way to put it.
That hit the spot.
It's a little teaser. Our other base is so much more peaceful than this one. You don't have to listen to the stupid wolf spider all the time. Whatever. What else? What else? What else? I don't think I need any of this. Brought most of this stuff over. Got all that. Some of this new stuff, sure. What are you doing? Get over here. There's a dupe glitch where you can dupe wasp nests. That sounds horrible. I want to dupe wasp nests. Items. Yeah, you do get items in egg sacs. Yeah. I forgot about that. That is definitely something that happens as well. If you're not seeing things, there are some random goofy drops that come from those. You see a lot of weird things from those that you don't think you're seeing.
Yeah.
Also a reminder, with crashes happening, make sure you save every once in a while. PlayStation can't play yet. I'm saying once we get to the 1.0 release, they'll most likely add PlayStation as another option for platform that can play. The first game had a huge following. It didn't now, but when the game was in 1.0, the following was huge. They had like millions of players. I would say it was a huge game. Exponentially larger than they expected it to be too. Give us a dang pick up all action, right? There is a pick up all. If you're like, I guess it's a pick up all for sap collectors specifically, not everything, but that is the, if you're using the buggy, the gather mode, if you hold, at least on PC, you hold E, it's like a vacuum. So I think that's their solution to that concept. If you didn't know about that one. The only unfortunate side of it is that you go really slow. I hope they speed it up a little bit. Just Fred from your airship base. I'm going to look at, okay. Grounded community is important though. We have more patience than other gamers. Yeah. Waiting for an accurate game we love and know will be great. Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to struggle through the pain of some of the early access stuff because then my voice gets to be heard. And the inevitability of what the game ends up being. But you have to be someone that wants to be a part of that, the process of building a great game, which means I think a lot of people have said, especially with the release of the game, there's people were impatient, the people that really just wanted a finished game, and Grounded wasn't on the map before the 1.0 release. Like, it was such a small game in early access. It was not anything big, and then it became very large. Not like Arc Raiders large or anything like that, COD, whatever, but it was a pretty big game after it went into the 1.0 release, and it created a huge fandom, but then a lot of the people heard of how great it was and then saw Grounded 2 and just wanted that full game experience, and they didn't experience what Grounded 1 was in early access because it was exponentially more difficult to deal with than this game. It was way slower. It was all empty. There was so little gameplay. There was so little story in the updates. You got way smaller updates. But we got very spoiled after the 1.0 release because the updates that they added were so good. And they were a lot of fun. So it kind of, I don't know, skewed how some people may view it in many ways. But that's part of the early access grind. Is what it is. The game will be huge when it goes to 1.0, but you have to stick with it. It's just can't play because they don't like early access. They don't. It's not that they don't like early access games. It's that
Help me grab this for later, would
I
you?
don't think Xbox and the developers don't like the way they deal with early access games is the bigger issue. They are so slow when it comes to the approval of things. Like, it is painfully slow how long it takes them to approve the things that Xbox will approve instantly. Then they have all these extra rules and stigmas that they are like, nothing can be released without us, like, essentially, like, they take an extra 2 weeks to verify updates, so they slow the update process down, which immediately is going to piss everyone off. And then on top of that, they
Tastes better when you hunt it
will
yourself.
not allow any version of the game to be released, so you can't release anything. So, like, if you go into PTB, it takes them 2 weeks to approve the PTB build, and if you need to update it again because there's an issue, they need another 2 weeks. You can't just release it with the changes that they're making while it's in PTB. So it takes a month to do something that should take a week. So in terms of, like, trying to develop a game, it just absolutely ruins the process of trying to get things out quickly in any way, shape, or form. Go around was bigger than last early access, so it tracks. Most are probably waiting. Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people are waiting for the full release, which is fine.
Now
I think
that's
getting rid of the
fresh.
people that don't have the patience to be in early access makes the early access process more bearable for the rest of us. Because I personally was so tired of, like, there's no story, there's not enough to do, there's not enough. I'm like, the first update in early access was the size of the first game. And yes, it didn't have everything the first game had, but it had so much. It was like you have to have the vision to see what you're gonna get out of this process, not what you don't have. So you have to have a slightly different mindset, I think, than most people have. And that's the iPad kid type mindset where they don't have the patience to sit still and wait for something. They don't want to let them cook like they should. A lot of Grounded 1 players also got early access burnout, so they aren't as active in Grounded 2. Yeah, you have to have a certain mindset. And for people that aren't building, like, I fully understand it. The content's not huge at the end of the day. I mean, we played for 2 days, and we could be done with all the content outside of the molars, and all the stuff, like unlocking everything and all that sort of stuff. But outside of that, and gold cards, like, these updates are more so, you're getting a fraction of the story. So in theory, what you should be doing is, if you're not someone that's looking to build massive bases and, like, progressively do fun things like that to fill the time of early access, you should be restarting your save every time and doing it from the start to get the full extent of what you're experiencing. But if you're experiencing it in quarters of what the game, if you're doing the first release and then waiting, and then doing the winter release, and then waiting, and then the spring, waiting, summer, waiting, you're getting a quarter of what the game is at that time. So instead of 50% of a storyline, you're getting 25%. So it's always going to be slow. It's always going to feel a little off. So you kind of, the point is not just story. You have to want to experience the other things in the game, the details. Like Milton posted a great video. He's like, I love exploring all the tunnels, and like you have to want to be like a completionist, I think, to enjoy the early access process, because otherwise you're just missing the great things that are added. I think if you're not trying to 100% grounded, you're missing out on some really, really cool stuff in the game. I think it's one of those games that's absolutely worth 100%ing. Especially in early access to keep yourself busy. What's up, Dylan? Welcome in. How you doing? I'm doing good. We're starting our mega build. We haven't gotten very far because I need so much lint, which is always the bane of my existence. But there's only this like second, almost third, barely the third actual day of playtime. Or I guess, yeah, this is the third day in the update, so I haven't had as much time to collect as I normally would. And I've been busy outside as well. But it'll get faster and faster the further we get through this stuff. Early access is the best because you can get better and not feel rushed to do everything. Yeah, so you have to have the right mentality, for sure. It works for the people that work it. Xbox is greedy with approval. I mean, I'm happy that they approve things quickly, at least. We don't have to wait and wait and wait and wait like PlayStation. PlayStation was the worst when they were doing the first game. I had very little patience when they were like, yeah, it adds like two weeks to everything that gets approved. So something that should take a couple days is taking half a month. At my base in the same spot, if you build stairs up to the wall behind your workbench, you can drop down into the rose garden and easily jump through the fence with your spider. Yeah. I mean, there's the little thing here, but eventually we'll get up to this area and I'll probably we might build up there as well. Kind of the goal. Welcome in, by the way. They do things strategic, but it's 100% killing fans who don't know where to find resources. There's a huge burnout if you don't fully dive in. Yeah, I mean, that's the struggle. It's just that's kind of early access at the end of the day. I think the hard part is I don't think a lot of people have the understand the mentality that you have to play early access games. I think it takes a specific mindset, and when you have never played an early access, because like I played Subnautica all the way through its early access, and so I have a very firm understanding of like how good a game can get if you let them work through it, but you're dealing with allowing someone to make mistakes to make a better game. Whereas otherwise you end up with games like Highguard that come out and are absolutely trash and no one likes them and they quit in a week. And so it's like, it's a double-edged sword. You either get the full thing and you have to hope that people like it, or you don't get the full thing and you have to have the patience to deal with trial and error at the same time. And we are very much testers at the end of the day. So it's, if you've never been a game tester, if you've never tried testing games, it's like, it can be a trying thing to do at the end of the day. It's just different. Not that I don't think Obsidian's done everything perfect this go around, for sure. I think there's been major mistakes that I'm willing to deal with because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I make content, so I have a very different mentality than a lot of player base because I get to make content on this, and by building, I get to make a lot more content than most content creators make, and I can stream for a longer time than most of them would be able to. So it's slightly different for me compared to others, so I can understand some of the frustration. They all speedrun the content, then get upset they had nothing to do. Yeah, and that's my struggle is I wish people would... You finish the story, there's so much other stuff hidden in this game to explore. There's the bodies to find, there's the files and the lore that most people are just skipping, There's just so much to see, but you have to have a completionist mindset to get the most out of early access. Build is started, I see. More mushrooms. Mostly lint right now is the struggle. Got the infected broodmother trinket after 15 tries? Nice. I hope Subnautica 2 comes out sooner than later, but with the whole dev issue, could be much, much longer than I would like. I was so excited to hear that it was coming, and then they ruined the whole thing. Not them, but the people who own Unreal or Unknown Worlds or whatever made some greedy mistakes. Sad, but not sure what else you can do. I'm gonna build the pagoda base inside timber space inside of grounded 2. Ooh, interesting. Probably have to wait till 2028. It's possible. I mean, I assume you're gonna get it maybe closer to 1.0, but it also depends on how they plan updating the whole thing. More people who play early access, the more bugs fixes. Yeah, that's a big part of it. Timber, love you. Have my baby. No. Please take him off my hands. He's horrible at grounded 2, doesn't help with the earwigs, and eats his foot. Thank you for the super chat, Green Dino. Appreciate it. I have a 3-year-old who just likes to run around and have me kill spiders, so I know the struggle. He gets me killed a lot. I ended up giving him an Xbox controller and make him feel like he's playing, so that's worked out pretty well for me. You might want to try that. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Hope they add more traps to the game. I really enjoyed how easy it was to understand. Or tapes, yeah, tapes, for sure. I assume we're going to get a lot of that stuff, but not till further in the experience is the struggle of it. So... at least it's all lined up. What kind of themes are you going for with the city? You're still planning on building the Elven style tower? I don't know if I'd call it an Elven style tower. I don't know what I would call it. Honestly, call it the style wise. I kind of have an interesting, I don't know if it's a theme. I found a really interesting image on Pinterest that I'm not necessarily copying, but I'm using for some inspiration on the whole thing. But I don't really know how to describe it until we start getting into it, and we'll see how it goes. Want to see turtle armor? That would be interesting, but it might be too strong. I don't mind early access. It shows devs want a great product for the community. We know the team that definitely love our Grounded fam. Yeah, no matter what, the game that we got out of Grounded 1, through all the struggles and the good times and the bad times, like, I absolutely love. It is one of my top 5 games ever.
It looks good on me.
And so I know that we are going to get a great game out of the whole thing. So I know it's worth the process. So I'm happy to be a part of it in the time being. Even if I have to deal with this couple crashes in stream and builds breaking and things changing, I've just accepted that's part of the game. Sounds good. Sounds good, Ducky. Thanks for hanging out. Welcome in, Super. Hope you're having a good night. Elvin from Enshrouded. No, I don't even know if that was. Yeah, I think that was more Enshrouded, but I don't know. It all blends together now. It's gonna be the bane of my existence, getting all this lint. Me struggle, so I'm gonna do all weekend is farm lint. Ugh. If we get a centipede as a world boss, it'd be horrifying. It honestly would be really good, but it'd be horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. It is the most dangerous park in the world. There's I mean, the tarantula was sort of someone's negligence more than anything, I guess, but and earwigs look disgusting and horrible. Wolf spiders are pretty normal. There was a bomb that went off in the park though, so I guess, or an explosion. So it is, in theory, it is a very dangerous park in general. Again, I can't disagree with that. Start farming all this stuff. We know a bunch of things. so much stuff to experiment with. I'm really excited. This stuff's so expensive, though. I think we have enough for that. Thank you, Ducky. Thank you. Make sure you like the video. Thank you, guys. Appreciate everyone. No doggy tonight. He refused. He
Didn't
said,
even need
no, thank
instructions.
you. No, thank you, Dad. And I couldn't force him. What, are you trying to tell me I don't have chrysalis on him? What? Closer. Wait, definitely have chrysalis. Brought a bunch. I have no organization. Okay, we definitely have this stuff. There we go. Okay. We're moving. Things are happening. Slowly but surely. Sounds good. See you later, Ducky. Catch you on Tuesday for the tours, man. Crash every 20 minutes before actual update, but still play it. I just made a save every 10 minutes. Annoying, but I'm a core fan of it all. Yeah, I love the commitment. It's okay to be frustrated, but still. Building out of snake scales will take 10 years. It really will. The infestation of the scorpions and I mean, it's just a garter snake at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's like a poisonous snake or anything, but it looks horrifying when you're the size of an ant. That is... Everything looks scarier up close. I mean, like, if you've never seen an antlion before from the first game, look up an antlion. It's horrifying. Like, it's not something you think about because it's so small, but it is horrifying. I refuse, Ducky. I will not. I will not say it. I will not entertain this idea. Snake scale underwear. Perfect. That's all the way over here. I will not. The antlions from the sandbox were just larvae. They can fly when they grow up. Yeah. But like, horrifying. They're absolutely horrifying. Oh my god, we had a bird. Everything's going wrong. This build's never gonna happen. How did I get so good at farming in the first game? I just had such a good system. Antlions gave me nightmares when I first found the sandbox. I didn't actually, like, I'd never seen an antlion larva like that. So for me, it was like, until I looked it up, there was no nightmare fuel. But then as soon as you look it up, nightmare fuel. And like earwigs, I've always been disgusted by earwigs. I find them absolutely disgusting. And now I'm even more afraid of them. So, you know, it's a,
Later, critter.
They ruin everything.
Woo! Let's go.
Something about the spiders, though, makes me, I don't dislike
My
spiders more.
heart
I mean,
is
I've always
pumping.
hated spiders, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Big old centipede. Only during the night on here. Their legs, oh, it's literally nightmare. Honestly, though, I think a centipede boss would be a really, really good boss. Super fast, like, snake attacks. Like, instead of adding the snake as
Take a
a
breath,
boss,
big guy.
it would be a kind of perfect bug, and it makes a lot of sense, especially if they added like a tarantula. I think it makes a lot of sense. It would be a really, really good boss. Trapdoor spiders, oh, those would be cool. They'd be cool though. Be another one that's good. I mean, they've already sort of committed to this weird concept of like scorpions in this park, so like at this point, I don't really care. That was like one of the things in the first game that was like, it had to be realistic. There can't be these type of bugs. And like now I'm like, you know, honestly, you make the park feels, it's not a backyard anymore where I feel like I'm in the middle of like, oh, well, we're not in Australia, so you can't have this bug or that bug. It's like, we're now at the point where the park is on a scale that I think allows you to have larger, sillier enemies because there's more opportunity for like biomes. Whereas in the first game, it was 1 yard, so having biomes didn't really feel correct. Whereas in this game, the scale is large enough that you can definitely, I think you could get away with more of a biome feeling where you can add in bugs that don't necessarily fit at first glance. So I think it would be a really good opportunity to kind of branch out into a little more craziness. Curl up and heal like a roly-poly. Ugh. That sounds horrifying, but honestly really good. Bull Spider from the second game is just way too hairy. Yeah, that was an interesting change, but they made all the bugs a little bit more out there. So, yeah. I mean, realistically, spiders are hairy for the most part. I mean, they all kind of like use hair to like climb up things, so their little toes and stuff. But at the same time, it feels more realistic in some ways. But if you're not looking at spiders in microscopes, they feel unrealistic at first glance. Has helped you somewhat overcome your fear of bugs. Earwigs still... No, that's made my fear worse. 100%.
Hey, Bill Drop. Buggy's loaded to the max. Give me a hand here, bud.
It has absolutely made my fear of earwigs 10 times worse. It's not helped that one, but I guess I'll take it. They're a fun enemy to fight. They're just hard. Shout out to my country and our insanely dangerous creatures. You give a lot of inspiration to a great game at the end of the day. I'll take it. Can't complain about the material to pull from. Arc being a giant ominous experiment really loosens the lore constraints that they could add. Yeah, I think in a really, really cool way. It removes some of the silly constraints that, like, mentally were very difficult to get over in the terms of, like, what is in a backyard. Which I really like. And there's nothing saying, like, this park is in this area of the world, so you can kind of get away with it. Frogs would be cool as a pet to tame. I think that would be more sort of a colossal, if anything, though. God, could you get out of here? I think anything that's not a bug is going to end up being some type of colossal, like the snake and the crow and the koi fish. I don't know how else you integrate them into the game as, like, bosses and stuff. I have gone into the scarecrow. I don't think I've explored everything in it, necessarily, but I have gone in it. Sort of accidentally stumbled upon it. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, look, a scarecrow. Let's go over there. I did half a story in the wrong order, which was fun. It's an off-grounded game that takes place in the outback of Australia, and it's just impossible. It would need to be like a Dark Souls level combat game, just incredibly difficult survival. Get rid of the story and just make it pure survival. Wouldn't need any of the story at that point. Honestly, my biggest hope is that we eventually get a full procedurally generated type world for Grounded, where they just kind of say, you're shrunken down, we're skipping the story, we're just making it so you're surviving, and we're just going to procedurally generate and add craziness at every turn. I think would be such a cool experience. More bosses that are not bugs or insects. Maybe we finally get the salamander. The difficulty is fighting those. I don't know. I mean, I think you could do it, but that's why in the first game they didn't do the lizard, is because they just didn't feel like realistically you could defeat a lizard. Because that's like the snake. Like, you're a non-entity to the snake. It's just like, you're just a nuisance. So, like, how do you create a combat? At least salamanders don't have armor, but, like, the lizard is, like, it's literally an armored lizard. So, like, how do you realistically make that fight feel interesting? Because Axel sort of breaks the mold and says, like, hey, we're willing to, like, go to a different level. But even that, the reason you can kill him is because of the injury he sustained. So the only reason you can kill something that big is because they created a backstory of how it is even possible. Because without it, you can't really do damage to Axel. You're just trying to, like, stun him by hitting him over and over again. And then you do damage specifically because he got obliterated when he fell out of his cage. So it's sort of an interesting challenge, a design challenge that as someone who doesn't develop games, I don't know how you move past that. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I don't know what it is. Get the sizzle effect in broad daylight if that spin-off was set in summer, right? You just burn all the time. Maybe it's an effect of when you shrink down, you don't get affected as much from those type of things or something. I don't know. At the end of the game, all you hear is everything looks fine. Gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. The huntsman spider would be horrifying. That'd be a horrifying fight. Or those creepy spiders that like dig the sand over them, horrifying too. That would be a really cool addition as well. Get it? Got it all. Let me up. Hope you get a sidewalk area after full release, and the only area to explore is the sewer for a final boss area. Hard part about the open space is they're so boring. Become very boring very quickly. Like this area feels so good because there's a ridiculous amount of clutter in this new area, and that's what makes it feel so interesting. But as soon as you get really wide open spaces, it just becomes really boring gameplay wise for the most part. Like what makes Grounded so good is the handcrafted world and storytelling, though. Through environments to procedurally generated maps might cause that to be lost. Oh, it would definitely cause some different issues for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's a totally different challenge. What I miss is I want the Grounded experience that doesn't end with the story. And that's all. It's more of like, I want to keep playing this game forever. And that's something that Minecraft and Hytale and those type of games allow, is just the procedurally generated concept allows. I don't know how you make it a reality by any means. But dang, would it be cool. Because then you just have forever gameplay. You can play it forever. Same with Valheim, it just increases the replayability exponentially, whereas anything with a story just is going to feel like it dies out. New Game Plus helps a lot, but it isn't like a cure-all by any means. Solves some problems, but not everything. Definitely makes for its own challenges. Depending on the size of the huntsman, that could be a better boss fight, or a colossus. It definitely could be. I mean, it'd be tarantula. There's tarantulas that are that big. Axel could be that large. You never know. Other things make it good as well, but you know, oh, for sure. There's a million things that make it good. But it's just one of those experiences, a content creator specifically as well. I want to play forever. It's so much more fun to have a game that never dies.
Make a killing.
I'm so jealous of like Minecraft creators that just get to play forever and they never have to change. They just get to endlessly play a game, which ends up dying in its own way, I guess, in some ways. So it's not a fix, but it is an interesting concept to explore, I guess. I just like the idea of being able to play this game forever and like restart worlds and do hardcore challenges or whatever it is in a way that it's not just story based. Like you always have something to do, something new to explore, a new biome to go to, new areas to go to. If you get bored and want to start over, you start a new one and it's almost a new experience. It's just a fun gameplay concept. Should add an insanely deadly spider like the brown recluse or something to make the game more interesting. I feel like it's very interesting already. But we're gonna get some hard bosses, I can promise you that. Axel is just the beginning. Never gonna happen, but pistol shrimp would be so cool. It'd be horrifying. They'd kill you and they'd literally just one-shot you. Zelda mechanics, and we have to throw bombs in the lizard's mouth to weaken it. That would be a way to do it. You'd have to think of something like that. How do you interact with it in some way to make it work? But there's ways around it. We see an undershed type biome with the building to the southeast of the park perimeter. I mean, anything's possible, right? I enjoyed I had a lot of fun with the undershed. I thought it was a really cool little area. Be cool in the story if you ran into another grounded builder and have to run into their base with their defenses. Creators like B-Double, Etho, etc. that their Minecraft careers would never die. Oh, exactly. I watch a guy, crap, what's his name? Can't think of it. The heck is his name? Hold on. Wax Fraud. I watch a guy Wax Fraud that's like 8,600 something days into a mega world, build world, and I'm like, that's the experience I'm looking for, where like I could just endlessly build in a game that endlessly gets updated. Like it just gets new biomes and new stuff constantly. And then you have the opportunity for mods and all the craziness. Who knows how it works, but it'd be really cool to be like, yeah, now we add a forest biome, and now we add a desert biome, and now we add and just kind of have more generic things to it. Would be really interesting. I have not played Cyberpunk before. Grounded 3 might have unlimited updates, but I can see a cap on this one by the time we might have Unreal 10. You can explore a whole neighborhood. Yeah. No, this one will 100%. I mean, this one's going to be exponentially larger than the first game. It already is a way bigger map. In the first game, the map felt like this. Maybe a little bit over. But like we're already far past the first game in terms of scale, so it'll be really good. I'm content with what we have now at the end of the day. Fan generated maps instead of procedurally generated seems like what they would want with unlimited new content, but it's kind of betting on players being invested enough. Yeah, that would do it. But if ticks were a thing, there were ticks in the first game, but they didn't stick to you or anything, so I don't know. They were in the first game though. They were annoying. They were just reskinned mites though. They didn't really do a whole lot. What if there was like a 0.1 chance to get Axel as a buggy? He's so slow though. He would do a lot of damage. Switch out most of the stuff with Mushroom Brick. I got a lot to do. Yeah, I know the feeling. Forge Labs, Lagundo. Love Wax Fraud. Love this Silent Rainbow. Dude, his builds are incredible. Very inspiring as a fellow builder. Here's if they'll add leeches to the pond. They did have leeches like modeled, so it's very possible. They are really creepy though. I don't know. I don't like them. Cool that they keep the handcrafted philosophy though, making it player created content. Yeah, I mean at the end of the day, it's very similar to like Enshrouded. Why I love Enshrouded. Although I would love a procedurally generated Enshrouded world, having something that's handcrafted the whole way through creates the crazy experiences that Minecraft does not in many ways. Minecraft is sort of just open, blank randomness, and it has moments that are interesting, but a lot of it is just open nothingness. So you have to set it up in the right way to make it work. Bats and fleas. Ugh. Fleas would be interesting. They could be really annoying. Axel would kick shit over. It literally just knocked my whole base over, and he's just like half the size of this base. He's literally would take up this whole base. Like, I don't even know what you do with him. It'd be funny though. Alright, well, we're definitely gonna have to do a lot of farming off stream. Holy cow. It's painful waiting for this. Although, once we get the first floor done, a lot of the work is gonna be more vertical mushroom based, so it will go a lot faster. But as I'm sitting here thinking through ideas, it's a slow process. I always find that my builds tend to start really slow and then they ramp up really quickly. Whereas it takes a little bit of patience. This is gonna piss me off. I don't want to raise it another level because then you lose so much of this entry height, which I like. Do that in the game. Oh, it wasn't this. This still works. doesn't work. Do that. I'm gonna have to mess with some of this stuff. Little wasp queen, killer hornet. The killer hornets would be interesting, but I hate wasps, so not super enthusiastic about them anyways.
I'd rather be on top than below this one. Put your feet up, bud. You earned it.
Hate the wasp drones? Yeah, they're quite annoying. Wasps in general are very annoying. Really wanted a good trinket for a crit build, and there is exactly one decent one. It's 1% drop from Axel. They nerfed it a little bit, but I feel like the what is it? The thing. Get the cricket one. It's really good. They nerfed it, so it's nowhere near as good as it was, but it was broken. The fantastic femur, I think is what it's called. Fabulous. Yeah. Attacks have a chance to greatly boost critical hit chance for a short duration. If you want a crit build, it's not as good as it was, but this is the way to go. You don't have that yet. It's pretty good. Bob would be so happy with where he's missing what he wanted. I know, right? You got all pissed. No, we've been farming too much though. We didn't even get that much done. He would be pissed. This is the issue with my bougie building style though, is it takes a little while to get farmed up. We've only been playing for 3 days, so I get better and better at farming as we get through the story too. It's the only joke I had to, right? 2 lint each, right? It's worth it for burr floors. Yeah, it's worth it. You're looking for something to take up your time. If you only build, your build's gonna be done too fast. So you need something like farming to break up the build time, to give you time to think about the design of the build, so the build becomes better. Think of it that way. Back to grounded 1 and got into a fight with wasps. You missed your ladybuggy. Yeah, that specifically would be great against those. They're horrible. Wild bow name, the Discord. I know, it makes me think I'm like looking at Discord for some reason every time. Pillar variants that are half the thickness, that would be really good. That would be a great addition, honestly. Because like the issue with these is if you're not thinking how you're going to use them, they're always a little big. But if you could have this hugging this wall, that would be a really cool detail. I need to make a note of that, send that to Eric. Because I love that we have at least 2 options now, but they're always something that's a little difficult to work with in the game overall because of that. But it'll be a good one. Just army men game from early 2K with building and farming. Tell me I'm wrong. It is a good one. I think too that resources are much more spread out too. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. It's a grind. At least in the first game, like I could go get 180, at least at the final update, I could get like 180 lint really fast. But then I also, the issue, like, that's why I loved custom mode. In custom mode, you could increase the resource respawn times, which was amazing. And then the handy nat speeds up building a huge amount too. So I miss those things specifically. It is a grind. Pure survival building is more of a grind when you can do it faster with other materials, but the materials I like are the hardest ones to get. It's definitely more of a struggle. No, it's all, there's no plan. I have some images that I have like a mood board or a precedent image board that I pull together on my Pinterest. But other than that, I just kind of wing it as I go with all my builds. I don't really pre-plan anything. It's all kind of trial and error as we go. That's almost exclusively how I build. I have a vision, but not a plan when I build. Fine with the primitive theme of the gear, but there's nothing pretty, like let me beat up spiders with a flower weapon or something. I mean, I guess that's the struggle is what is the flower gonna do to them, you know? It's like most survival games, though, right? Like, you're always using a spear and a sword and stuff. Kind of difficult outside of that to make combat make sense. It has to have some, even though there's nothing real about it, it has to have some form of realism. Welcome in, Mitosis. Hope you're having a great night. Doing good. Joining us here towards the end. I think I'm going to be calling it here pretty soon. I have a really big interview tomorrow that I need to do some more studying for, so I got to get up much earlier than I would like. Actually, I think it's probably a perfect time. The rose spear. You could make it pretty and then make it like a spear weapon, though. That could be interesting. I wouldn't say that's a bad way to approach it. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. I have a really early morning to get ready, do my final studying for this thing. But once this interview is over, and then I'm going to finish up my Enshrouded build this weekend, hopefully, as well. And so we'll be heavily focusing on Grounded moving forward. I know we spent some time farming, and we've spent the last couple streams doing story and stuff. But we will get to a point, I promise. Stick around with us if you enjoy building. Bear with me as I'm always a little slow getting started on these builds and stuff. But then I promise you, we get real quick, real fast. The builds will happen much faster than they are currently, but it's always that blank slate kind of designs and stuff. It takes a little bit of time kind of getting this thing planned out, since I literally haven't put a single thought into Grounded up until Tuesday. So bear with me on the slow list for the builds for the next week or stuff. We'll be back next Tuesday. If you enjoy builds as well and you're not part of our Discord, make sure to join the Discord. We have some amazing builders, especially with all the new stuff. There's going to be some insane things. Starting up on Tuesday, we're doing Tour Tuesdays again. So we will be showing off some community builds, builds that people within our Discord and community hanging out in the streams and stuff. Their builds that they're working on. We'll be going through, reviewing them, helping people out, using my architectural background and design knowledge to help people improve their bases and just show off the crazy, ridiculous things that people are coming up with in this game. Especially, I think it's going to be really exciting over the next couple weeks as we start getting more bases back on the list. We took a month or two off in between updates, but we're going to have some really cool builds that come out with the pumpkin stuff. Like, some of the stuff we've seen on the previous base tours, if you haven't seen those videos on my channel, go check them out. There's some incredible designs if you like building. And with the new mushroom bricks and pumpkin stuff and snake roofs and pine cone, like all the decor items, the builds are going to be getting really crazy really fast. So stay tuned for that. Every Tuesday moving forward, Tour Tuesdays, we'll be back showing off some awesome stuff. But other than that, I appreciate everyone hanging out for the night, and thank you for joining me and hanging out on my silly build goofy fun streams for Grounded and stuff. And I will see everyone Tuesday at 7 p.m. again. You all have a great rest of your night, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Yeah, I'll be around. Don't worry. I'll be around. You'll see some more cool stuff. We're going to be building some cool things with the new stuff, I promise. But yeah, peace out, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.